Are you dealing with a personal injury? Don't go it alone. Turn to the experienced team at Phillips Law Firm. Their attorneys have helped thousands of clients get the compensation they deserve. Call Phillips Law Firm now. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
It's after bedtime, the kids are asleep, and the moms are out to play.
We're Dina and Kristen, the duo behind the Instagram account Big Little Feelings. I'm Dina. I'm a child therapist and mom of two who nerds out on all things neurobiology and psychology. And Kristen is a parent coach who wrangles 3 kids on a daily basis, here to give it to us like it is.
We weren't meant to do this parenting thing alone. Consider After Bedtime your village.
Follow After Bedtime with Big Little Feelings on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your home is going into foreclosure and you feel like a financial wreck. You don't know where to turn for accurate information. I'm bankruptcy attorney Travis Gagne. Let's talk about some legal options. If we work quickly, we can propose a plan to save your home, modify the loan, or in many cases even eliminate your second mortgage. The consultation is free. I've helped hundreds of people just like you make informed decisions about whether to save their home or exit it on a reasonable, organized timeline. The chapter you choose sets the tone for the next chapter of your life. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. According to a recent interview, Liam Neeson was like, hey, man, I got to tell you, he thought that the iconic part in the movie Taken, where, you know, he says that particular set of skills, whole situation.
I have a particular set of skills.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. Pretty much that's it.
Give me my daughter back.
Wow. Is he here?
I'm Batman.
He said, you know, man, I really thought that whole line, that whole speech I made was really, really corny. Here's the scene that. Here's the scene.
He needs to shut up, first of all.
Oh, wow!
How dare he say that's corny?
Wow,
it's the greatest moment of a movie of all time.
You know, the problem is that when you're an actor, you may not, you just don't know it. You have no idea how something's going to hit. So probably when he was doing it, he's like, okay, really, but all right. And if Steve's impression really didn't remind you of the scene, we have the scene.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you're looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you let my daughter go now, that'll be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
Let's go.
You know, when you hear it, it is really like very overdone and corny, but it's
what are you
awesome.
talking about? Everything about that is great.
That is so fantastic.
It's one of the greatest moments in cinema history.
He said it was cornball. Liam Neeson's like, it was cornball. I really did feel that. He said, though, it's nice to be proven wrong. Because he said, as it turns out, people like you and a lot of folks love it.
Wouldn't it have been great? I mean, obviously, that would be a very short movie if the person on the other end of the phone is like, crap, man, you kind of scare me. I'll drop your daughter off at 4. You know what I mean?
That's the movie. That's how the movie, in real life, that's how the movie would go.
He's like, you know what? I don't want to die. You sound crazy, sir. I picked the wrong kid to take.
Yeah.
I'll bring her back.
You know, it's been so long since I've seen the movie. Do we know why they took her?
I don't want to spoil it for people.
Oh, okay. Well, we know it's not money.
It's like for sex trafficking.
Yeah. Human trafficking.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't anything he did. They just picked the wrong girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, you got to go back and watch this movie.
I totally forgot why. I just.
Remember she went to another country, if that's remember
Yep,
correctly?
her and her friend went out, and then they found this guy like, oh, let's share a cab. And so they go to her wherever she was staying, and then the guy knew where these 2 girls were.
Yeah.
I don't even need to see the movie now.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Have you ever seen it?
No.
I didn't think you did.
No.
It doesn't seem like you need to spend a day.
Oh, here we go. Finally, it's not me that needs to watch a Steve recommendation. Finally,
This is the greatest movie ever made.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not, but it's top 10.
You know what? Neeson also disagreed with that. He really thought this movie was going to go right to video. He's like this, and he thought it was going to go to video. It was going to be forgotten.
Well, in all fairness, most of the other films he did that are kind of like this did go straight to video.
Yeah. But, you know, of course, this launched a big franchise for him. And in his mid-50s is when he was doing this, made him an action star. And he did say, man, look, I do feel privileged and a little bit guilty. And the reason he feels guilty, again, because he's in his mid-50s, and he's like, I'm having fight scenes with guys half my age.
Oh, but, dude, that's a testament to his acting abilities. Because, man, that guy made you believe it.
Well, I think the other actors not beating the crap out of him also made you believe.
Well, I mean, no, but he did such a great job of making everything about this movie look believable.
Yeah, well, except if you really, you have to suspend disbelief because, you know, I mean, he's 50-something years old. Well,
there's plenty of 50-somethings that could kick the crap out of a 20-something.
Yeah,
I
but
guarantee it.
These are multiple 20-somethings, though.
Fair.
Yeah.
But he had inspiration. His daughter.
Oh, right.
He didn't want her to be a sex slave, spoiler alert.
And he had a certain set of skills.
Yes.
A particular set of skills that...
Dude, he was way wrong because the movie, they cost him $25 million to make that movie. The box office amount... $226 million made.
Wow. I don't know. I hope he had some of the back end, as the kids call it. Like usually when they negotiate these big stars, they don't take any money up front.
Yeah, even if he didn't, though, he got so many roles from this movie that. And how many movies has he done that are basically taken with like a slightly different premise? He's always saving some kind of kid.
Yeah.
In the world of Hollywood, he's his characters are the worst parent of all time.
He's a kid saver.
I don't know, man. I think he might be the worst parent of all time.
Well, there is that. Though, I mean, what can you do if your kid's on vacation? How can you
Well, I mean, how do you let your 17-year-old leave the country, BJ?
Hey, well, that's I didn't know I didn't know you're not supposed to let your 17-year-old leave the country. I didn't know that was okay. I'm a bad parent.
Oh, if my daughter one day when she's old enough to ask for to go somewhere, I'm going to sit her down and make her watch Taken and be like, nope.
Your dad doesn't have this special set of skills.
He doesn't have a particular set of skills.
You see this dad and what he's doing for her, his daughter, I'd be dead after the first attempt.
Just so you know.
We're not going down that road.
Don't leave the country.
Right.
That's just don't.
Cautionary tale.
That's it.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. There was an interview with Tom Hanks. And Tom Hanks believes that advances in artificial intelligence have led to Hollywood concerns about who owns the rights to an actor's likeness and voice after they are no longer acting. Ooh. So here's Tom, obviously a big actor in Hollywood. This would affect him greatly, and here's what he thinks about the whole thing.
I can tell you that there's discussions going on in all of the guilds, all of the agencies, and all in the legal firms in order to come up with the legal ramifications of my face and my voice and everybody else's being our intellectual property.
Oh, man, I didn't even think that's the world we are in now, right? All the technology, like you sign on for a franchise, like what if they have like part of the contracts, like, hey, look, we have the rights of your likeness even if you die.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be, I wouldn't put it past anybody in business to say we want to take as much advantage of you as possible. That's just how it is. And I don't think it's unreasonable to say that an actor's likeness and voice and all of that stuff should be their property. That's them.
Yeah, I like to think like, okay, Tom Hanks, like, sure, but all the money you make from these movies, you're still paying me. It just goes to my estate, which in turn goes to my family.
Yeah, and that's cool. And that's an interesting concept. Okay, how would Tom feel about the fact that, all right, you're dead, but somehow, you're still living on and all this stuff?
Right now, if I wanted to, I could get together and pitch a series of 7 movies that would star me in them, in which I would be 32 years old from now until Kingdom Come. Anybody can now recreate themselves at any age they are by way of AI. Or deep fake technology. Because look, I could be hit by a bus tomorrow and that's it. But my performances can go on and on and on and on and on.
I think of Val Kilmer.
From like the Top Gun movie.
Yeah, and where, Val, of course, massive health issues to the point where, he had an appearance in the new Top Gun, but he didn't do a whole lot. But I imagine if you're Val and they had the technology and they had your voice, that you might go, yeah, let's put a young version of me with my voice in there and let's just go ahead and do it. And I approve it, or maybe I change the dialogue a little bit, or I like, maybe he would. Maybe Val would be like, sure, because, you become, so incapacitated, but you still would love to see yourself make movies.
But do you then who do you put in charge? Like your wife, your kids? Like who's in charge of saying okay to certain roles? Because you just don't want all of a sudden the dead version of Tom Hanks has been like a bunch of direct to DVD, direct to on demand clunkers. You know what I mean? Like you don't want him to be in these trash films. And then on the flip side, as a moviegoer, would you be okay with going to see a movie with a guy a 30-year-old version of Tom Hanks, even though he's not 30 years old anymore? But if the movie's good, would you still enjoy it?
Here's what the way I equate it to is that we were all very excited on that season of The Mandalorian when Luke Skywalker came back looking like young Luke Skywalker.
Right.
And Mark Hamill was a part of that. Like the current age Mark Hamill was a part of it, but of course they used deepfake. Well, they actually didn't use deepfake. Some people think they should have. But they used technology to make him look younger, but it was him doing it. It's just they got and I feel like if it's that, and the actor's still around, and the actor is at least his brain stuff is working, and maybe even his voice. But he's Mark Hamill's very old now. If he's cool with it, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, because that is the strange part. Would be like let's just say Harrison Ford's I'm done acting, but. Man, now with technology, we could do Indiana Jones and we could go back to when I was younger again, and I'll lend the voice and they can even tweak it so I sound younger again.
It's going to be...
That's going to be weird, man.
Yeah, and they've tried it. I mean, they tried it, but they've gotten much better. First it was CGI, but now with deepfake, it's going to be a lot better because they tried it with, Carrie Fisher, and they put her in Rogue One, and they tried it with... Peter Cushing, who played Grand Moff Tarkin, they did that in a Star Wars movie, but they were CGI guys trying to play the roles of the guys as they were when they were, and they had different actor, they had somebody imitate the voice, because that's what they've been doing anyway. And I don't know, if they CGI somebody, is that the same deal? You're still cheating? It's so hard to know.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, man.
Because they're saying we're recreating the character as opposed to stealing from the actor, but it was the actor that it's all.
He better make sure he has it all locked down because next thing you know, there's an adult film it's starring Tom Hanks.
Yeah, you're right.
Called, Sex Toy Story.
Well, dude, there was so
he's a talking
dude.
Marital aid. Hey,
that's probably
you have stays with the same name, Woody.
Gosh, I forget the name of this movie. I think it's on Netflix. It was a Korean sci-fi. It's a really good one, but you just described the premise.
Oh boy.
This woman was a war hero and she was so famous, and they decided they wanted to they had rights to her face and her body. And they were making clones not because they wanted her to be a fighter, because she was a great war hero. They were making clones because they wanted her to be sex dolls for people in this movie.
So now they could actually do Saving Ryan's Privates.
Exactly, yeah.
And a parody of Big, but it's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the movie, but if you there's some great Korean sci-fi that it's subtitled, but you'll have to deal with that. But
someone brought up a good point. Hey, just think of it. We can now have perpetual Steven Seagal movies until the end of time.
Yeah.
All they had to do is train a bear to sit and do some mild martial arts, and then deep fake his face onto it.
It's a weird thing to think that could be the case, man. I mean, are people going to want to see Tom Hanks in 30 years? I mean, younger people are going to want their own stars anyway, so I don't know how,
he's a national treasure. I think people always want Tom Hanks.
Let's take a look at, Humphrey Bogart and people like that.
Nah, we don't need that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. We don't need that, and yet, it could...
Unless it's an adult film.
Oh, Humphrey Bogart.
Bogart or something?
Bogart. Here's banging you, sweetheart. Yeah, okay.
Do you think this will impact the plastic surgery industry? All of a sudden, some people in Hollywood who maybe don't really want to get plastic surgery, but they do because it's going to help their career. Now they could just be like, yeah, I'll do this movie, but part of my agreement is that you make me look 10 years younger.
Yeah, then you don't have to worry about it. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be weird if old people start looking like old people again.
Or the old people just in real life look like old people, but in the movies they look like young people.
Which is so disappointing if you go to conventions like some people like to do.
Snapchat filter.
Yeah, really. I mean, you go to a convention thinking you're going to go see a young version of somebody, and then you see some old and you go, wait, that can't be the same guy. I've never seen him look like that in a movie.
I'm sure soon enough we'll have the app that will be they already have apps that can touch up people's faces, but all of a sudden you meet the celebrity that you're excited to meet them, but you're like, this is a 40-year-old version of them or 40 years later version of them. You can hit a button on your picture and it turns them back into the actual version you want.
Yeah, that's weird, man. Yeah. Man, I don't know about all this.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope, man. Yeah. Everything's getting crazy.
It is getting crazy. All right, we got this great list of guitar solos from GuitarPickReviews.com, and these are the most iconic guitar solos of all time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Are you a big guitar solo guy, or do you just like this? Because some people just like, I don't want to hear. I just want to hear the song with the like the lyrics and the chorus and the verses, but the solo takes me out of it.
It's a good one. If it's a good one, I am there's like a lot of times where you're just going through a song and it's like, this was unnecessary.
They just put this in just to kind of have a guitar solo.
Yeah.
Well, that was the formula for a long time.
Yep.
For rock music, the formula was, you had a great hook, lyrics, and then basically it's like lyrically whatever set of lyrics. One, what do you call that? Not the chorus.
So you got verse, chorus, verse, chorus, then guitar solo.
Yes.
And then like chorus, maybe a bridge. Yeah.
And that was it. You
Back
just
to the
always knew.
chorus.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
me growing up, Steve, I was so used to the guitar solo. You had to have one.
Yeah.
You really had to have one.
And then as Metallica fans, we remember there was a period of time during that some kind of monster era of Metallica with Saint Anger, and it was like, where's Kirk's guitar solos? And they were like, we didn't see a need for them on this record. We're like, we didn't see a need for this record.
Yeah.
But we would have liked some guitar solos.
For me, I remember, and you always could tell the different kind of Styx fans there were. And Styx, of course, the very old band, Babe, I Love You, and Mr. Roboto. But James Young, JY, was considered a really good guitarist. And so you always listen for his solos because he always got to have solos on pretty much a lot of Styx songs. And he even got to sing one, which is a cult favorite, a song called Miss America, that he didn't sing ever on the band. It was always either JY or Tommy Shaw. I mean, I should say, Dennis DeYoung and Tommy Shaw. JY sang one song, and everybody was so excited because they're like, oh, they're letting the lead guitarist sing? That never happens.
Define everyone, because I don't know anyone that was excited about this.
This was back in the day, buddy. But yeah, I mean, you have to. That was part of it. You had your great lead singer, like you said, you had all, but you also had the great guy that could play lead guitar.
Yes.
So I'm a fan. I am a fan. But Danny's got a point. Sometimes you go, okay, what's going on?
This song didn't need a guitar solo.
Yeah. This one, we'll give you the top three.
Okay.
Top three iconic guitar solos of all time. GuitarPickReviews.com has a bunch more, but this one here. Yeah, I mean, you got to give it to the dude. It's good.
It's Clapton.
Yeah. And Layla's a great tune.
See, I'm a fan. In my opinion, my favorite guitar solos are the ones that you can kind of hum.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's certain guitar solos where you're like, what? And you're like, oh my goodness gracious! Like this is clearly talent, but I'm not feeling this.
Too mathematical.
Like I love "Smells Like Teen Spirit's" guitar solo because it's so basic, but it's just he's just doing like kind of like the vocal lines, but on the guitar, and it's just part of the vibe.
You know what? This next one I'm going to play, Danny. I don't know. I want to put a list. If I can give an assignment to us, maybe for later on. A lot of people have been complaining about Ted Lasso, but the last episode of Ted Lasso was really funny because the coach was at a press conference debating the great guitarists and really throwing a lot of shade out there because basically they're in England and of course so instead of talking soccer they're talking all the great guitarists and the coach is flipping out saying that Stairway to Heaven is derivative.
It sounds like a Mike Leach moment.
Yeah, it was. So if we can at some point maybe we'll play it some other time, maybe not today, but I thought that was a really fun piece. The reason I bring it up because he just put down Stairway to Heaven in this episode of Ted Lasso, and this of course happens to be the number 2 guitar solo according to GuitarPicksReview.com.
I'm just a sucker for like that 70s production too. The drums, everything about it is just so warm sounding.
Yeah, I think Coach was saying that Joe Walsh was a much better guitarist than Jimmy Page. And that was the whole argument. And it was a funny argument, because you hear it a lot with guitar geeks.
In my opinion, but
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was Joe Walsh that he was talking about. But he was saying Jimmy Page was lazy and it was just not a great play. So it's a great piece. We have to play it at some point just because I thought I just loved it was out of the blue talking about guitar fights. And people have those discussions. All right, so what is the number 1 guitar solo of all time? Well, it's got a Seattle connection, so how do you not love that?
I mean, some of Hendrix's songs are just one giant guitar solo.
True, yeah.
No complaints, but
yeah, and these are iconic. We're not saying, from a technical standpoint, these are the most iconic guitar solos of all time.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, I think some of the best guitar solos, it's just about feel. I grabbed one that I think, and I remember we interviewed Tom Morello from.
Oh, this is not Tom with the Donkey, is it?
It's not, I promise.
Okay, jeez, because I will cut him.
Although I kind of wish it was now.
Yeah, okay.
But I remember when we interviewed, I brought this solo up to him, and I thought he was just going to be like, oh, yeah. But like he even kind of you could hear his excitement in his voice. And it's the most simplistic solo, and it's from the song Like a Stone. And I think, Danny, you got the solo part. But it's so tasteful, and it just fits the song so well, and it just keeps you in that good vibe of what that song sounds like. I think what makes it cool is that he's like, Tom could go whittly diddly crazy with his stuff, but like he kind of he kind of pulls himself back, and it fits the song so great. Like with this part right here. I don't know. I've always loved that.
It's got a great feel to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost psychedelic.
It is like the effect on it, and he's such a soulful player, and I always love it when he does like that kind. And that's what I love about Audioslave. It's like Rage Against the Machine was way more aggressive, but Audioslave kind of toned him down a little bit, and it was cool.
Oh, it's always great when you get to see artists like get to stretch their legs in a different way, which some people don't like because you go, hey, I know this performer as they are. I don't want them to be different. And I love it to, when you get to see, wow, these guys are good in other genres, other formats. They're really something.
They said Comfortably Numb, Pink Floyd was, I guess, at number 4.
Okay.
Eruption from Van Halen, which really is just a giant guitar solo.
Yeah.
That's, you can't go wrong with Eddie Van Halen. I'm happy that Slash made this list with November Rain, which I thought was, which solo? There's a couple solos on that song.
Yeah.
But I thought Sweet Child of Mine is really, like, to me, that's his best guitar solo.
And you're right. I mean, the riff is amazing, but you're right. The solo as well is pretty damn good.
Especially when it keeps building, and then it goes to the second gear, and you're just like, oh, Slash, showing off how freaking awesome your fingers are.
Yeah.
Every time I see him, I say, dude, you realize how awesome your fingers are?
Yeah. And he's like, okay.
He's like, can you please ban this man from backstage?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. What's the difference between filing for bankruptcy and credit counseling?
Credit counseling is a useful process in some circumstances, but it does show up on your credit. In fact, from a credit scoring standpoint, credit counseling shows up just like a bankruptcy, so it's going to affect your credit as negatively as filing bankruptcy. In credit counseling, the idea is that a credit counselor works with your creditors on your behalf to try to lower interest rates or work out payment plans with your creditors to pay back your debt over time. In credit counseling, you almost always pay back 100% of the debt, sometimes at lower interest. And of course, some creditors will participate in that process and some won't. So you're usually left with kind of a mixed result with credit counseling and, of course, a high payment.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at ChooseTheRightChapter.com. That's ChooseTheRightChapter.com. Thanks for listening.
Have you been in an accident that wasn't your fault? Feeling overwhelmed and unsure what to do next? Look no further. The personal injury attorneys at Phillips Law Firm are here to help. Phillips Law Firm understands that accidents can turn your life upside down. That's why they're dedicated to fighting for the compensation you deserve and to making the process as stress-free as possible. Don't wait any longer. Call now, 1-800-JUSTICE, or visit justiceforyou.com.
Needless to say, you don't play favorites, but every family has a natural unspoken hierarchy, and always has. At least when it comes to claiming your place in the car. You know how it goes. The one with the longest legs, you're up front. Congratulations. The shortest kid, you're in the way back. And the nicest sibling with the best attitude, right smack dab in the middle. Sorry, buddy. Is it usually the mild-mannered middle child? You bet. They're such a good sport. Is it fair, comfortable, and enjoyable for all? Absolutely not. Until now. Finally, the first ever Lexus TX is a 3-row SUV where everybody wins. With intuitive tech, cup holders for all, loads of elbow room, cargo room, and leg room. For everyone, no matter where they sit. This is a new era of 3-row luxury. The Lexus TX. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your wages are being garnished. We can stop that now. It's hard enough to pay your bills when things are good, let alone when a big chunk of your take-home pay is gone before you even get your check. I'm bankruptcy attorney Travis Gagne, and I can stop the garnishment and get the creditors off your back immediately, often the same day as our consultation. Both Chapter 7 and 13 provide bankruptcy relief, but choosing the right chapter is crucial. In a free consultation, we can create a plan to get your finances back under your control. The chapter you choose sets the tone for the next chapter of your life. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
Let's play Beat Migs.
It's time to play the game. So everybody scream his name. Beat Migs. Don't be a loser. Whoa. Beat Migs. You're a loser.
Who's ready to be Migs? I know Candy from Graham is. Candy, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, Steve, now get out.
Goodbye.
For those playing at home, Candy has 60 seconds to answer 10 questions. You can pass all you want, but you will only get 3 guesses per question. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Beginning with A, what 2009 movie is still the highest grossing movie of all time?
Pass.
How many current NFL teams have never made it to the Super Bowl?
2.
No.
3.
No.
4.
Yes. Insulin is produced in what organ?
The pancreas.
Yes.
Nice.
Camp Crystal Lake is a key location in what horror film franchise?
Pass.
Modest Mouse was formed in what Washington city?
Issaquah?
Yes. What is the strongest land animal in the world?
The strongest? An elephant.
Yes. The sport cricket originated in what country?
Cricket. England?
Yes. What does the E stand for in the cable company ESPN?
I don't know. Pass.
Which fictional city is the home of Batman?
Gotham.
Yes. What planet has the most moons?
Jupiter.
No.
Oh,
you get
so
6
close.
correct, Candy.
Yeah,
Okay.
You needed another guess for that planet question. You didn't have enough. Didn't have enough time.
But you still got a little more than half right.
Yeah,
So,
that's all right. You know, see what
All
Steve does
right.
over here. We'll see what Steve does.
Let's go, Candy.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yes! Steve, are you ready?
Is that the first question?
No.
Ah, yes.
Beginning with A, what 2009 movie is still the highest grossing movie of all time?
Avatar.
Yes. How many current NFL teams have never made it to the Super Bowl?
I'm going to go 1,
No.
2,
No.
3.
No. Insulin is produced in what organ?
The kidney.
No.
The liver.
No.
The
boys.
stomach.
No. Camp Crystal Lake is a key location in what horror film franchise?
Friday the 13th.
Yes. Modest Mouse was formed in what Washington city?
Issaquah.
Yes. What is the strongest land animal in the world?
Strongest land animal. I'm going to go an elephant.
Yes. The sport cricket originated in what country?
England.
Yes.
Hello.
What does the E stand for in the cable company ESPN?
Entertainment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which fictional city is the home of Batman?
Gotham City.
Yes. What planet has the most moons?
What planet? That'd be Uranus.
No.
Jupiter?
No.
Mars.
No. With that, you get 7 correct, which is a win.
Candy.
7 to 6.
Avatar was a difference maker, Candy.
Dang it. I'm sorry, Candy.
Yeah.
That's okay. I can lose with the best of them.
That's right.
Well, you did a good job, though. Well, one question loss ain't bad. That was respectable, Candy. Play again anytime you want. All I ask for is a fighting chance. That's all I ask for.
That's right.
One that she got correct and you didn't. 4 NFL teams have not made it to the Super
4.
Bowl.
That would've been-
Browns, Lions, Texans, and Jaguars, in case you wanted to know.
Ah.
Wow.
Insulin is produced in the pancreas. She got that correct as well. And then, does anybody know what planet has the most moons?
I'm going to go with Saturn.
You are correct, sir.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
I'm still like really tripping on the Browns and Lions, dude.
Yeah.
Makes sense for the Texans and the Jaguars, but the Browns and Lions have never been to the Super Bowl in its 50. What are we at, 59? 50, where are we, 56?
50-something.
50-something, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a long damn time. And I don't know if they ever won championships before the Super Bowl was
Well, how
a thing.
frustrating, because isn't the Cleveland Browns technically left to become the Indianapolis Colts, right?
Oh,
Didn't
yeah.
they? And then they ended up getting a new franchise called the Cleveland Browns again, but the Indianapolis Colts have won the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
The Baltimore went to Indianapolis, didn't they? So where did the Browns go?
I thought the Browns went.
Did they go to Baltimore to be the Ravens?
Man, damn it, man! I don't remember.
Because I think the Baltimore Colts went to.
You're probably right.
Yeah, but you're right. I forgot that Cleveland left for.
Cleveland went somewhere. I know that much.
Where'd they go, Danny? Do we know? No, it doesn't say. Either way, it's frustrating for that franchise.
Says that the Browns went to Baltimore in 1995.
Okay,
to be the Ravens, I bet
they become the Ravens.
Yeah,
who have won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah. So how about the Browns did have somebody go to the Super Bowl if you count them being that, but yeah, not unfortunately not the Browns themselves with that name.
Did you see the latest controversy that's going on in the world of football because of throwback jerseys? Now, Danny
I did see this.
It's pretty funny. So we're rocking our Seahawk throwbacks, which there's no controversy over that, other than that they're awesome and they should be using them more than just the one game. But that's a whole other thing. But apparently the Tennessee Titans, because they were once the Houston Oilers.
Oh, right. I saw those unis and I wondered about that.
And they're doing their throwback uniforms to look like the old Houston Oilers jerseys, which were really cool looking. The blue,
Yeah.
and I love the logo and all that. But the Houston has a team, the Texans, and people are like all up in arms. Like, how could you do this throwback? But that's their history.
It really is. And, if the Texans call themselves the Oilers, then I would think, okay, then they have an issue, and I don't blame them. But since you came up with a different name and you're the Texans, then I guess you would say the history does belong to the Titans.
But, I mean, it would piss off, Sonics fans, obviously, if let's just say the NBA did throwback jerseys and the Thunder were rocking Sonics colors.
Right now, yes. But let's say, and we're probably going to get a team.
It looks very likely.
And what if we decided to just come up with a whole new color scheme and a whole new name? Would you be then pissed at the Thunder? I would be like, no.
I think Seattle basketball fans would collectively lose their minds if they did not go with the Sonics.
I would be mad at the Seattle
terrible
ownership.
idea.
I'd be mad at the NBA and not at not at the Thunder. It's the NBA and whoever bought our club. But we should be the Sonics. And I personally think that the Texans should have been the Oilers. I don't. If you have a new team, just like the Ravens, I really think the Indianapolis Colts should have changed their name too. I think when you move to a new city, change your name.
These days, I feel like that's what happens. Back then, it seemed like that was the thing. The LA Lakers, Utah Jazz. These were things where it's like, why'd you keep that name? It has no history and no tie into the country, as I say, the state that you're in anymore.
Atlanta also, by the way, they're going to be the latest with a real problem in baseball with the Atlanta Braves. And that wasn't their name. Mm-hmm. That they were the Boston Braves. Yeah. If they had just come up with a different name when they moved into Atlanta, but they didn't. And just like the Dodgers, obviously, and the Giants, they're all from the East Coast way back in the day.
I do love the Titans. I don't know if they're just trolling Houston, but they're like, Oilers history is Titans history.
Oh, they are definitely trolling them.
They're probably
or trolling them.
They're sweet looking uniforms. We want to make money from these.
And I'm looking at the helmets. The helmets don't have a logo at all. Is that what I'm seeing?
I don't know. I can't tell if it does, but they do use that Houston Oilers old logo.
Yeah, they really should, because it's just an oil rig.
Yeah.
And Houston,
No, it does. It does. You just couldn't see it.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I think it's great, because the Texans can't do that. The Texans are not the Oilers.
I think it's bad. Obviously, I'm not bitter, because it doesn't involve any team that left that I cared about, but I think it looks cool, because I always like the Houston Oilers the jersey scheme color.
I do. I agree with you. Plus Warren Moon, of course, with that great, the whole situation there. I guess the Texans could do it too, since they're both not named Oilers. You could argue either one, and it is interesting that the NFL decided to let the Titans do it as opposed to the Texans.
Someone brought up a good point too on the text line. The Titans were called the Tennessee Oilers for a couple of years. People seem to forget that.
Oh, really?
I forgot that too.
I totally forgot that. Why did they change it then?
Probably because there's really no connection to maybe the Oilers in Tennessee. I don't
Yeah,
know.
here they are trying to make the connection.
Well, now they want to sell some jerseys.
Yeah, you're right about that. All of a sudden, there is a connection.
They're probably like, look at all these teams making money off of these throwbacks.
Yeah, and of course, we're talking about it, this big so-called controversy.
Right. Well, also, Danny and I are definitely the two quote-unquote suckers that went out immediately to go get throwback jerseys.
Yeah, you did. I was jealous when I walked in today and saw you guys because I'm like, man, I got to have some impulse control. Because it's been a long time since I bought a jersey.
It's an 8-minute drive to the pro shop. They've got every player that you would want.
I want a T-shirt. That's where I draw the line.
I didn't see the T-shirt.
Oh, they got to have them.
The numbered T-shirt look.
Yeah, $45. I'll pay you. But I've seen some. Now I don't know if it's your place that you like to go overseas, but I've seen some baseball style jerseys in this version.
Oh, I'm sure it's a non-sanctioned website, BJ.
Yeah, see, I don't want to pay.
And how about me? I went officially licensed jersey.
I can't believe it. I am shocked.
That's right, and showing my support for Geno Smith, baby.
You know, I just feel badly for you tomorrow.
Why is that?
Because we're going to be talking to Todd Peach, and you're going to have to justify this.
That's why I'm wearing it today and not tomorrow.
Good call. Very good call.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
It's after bedtime, the kids are asleep, and the moms are out to play.
We're Dina and Kristen, the duo behind the Instagram account Big Little Feelings. I'm Dina. I'm a child therapist and mom of two who nerds out on all things neurobiology and psychology. And Kristen is a parent coach who wrangles 3 kids on a daily basis, here to give it to us like it is.
We weren't meant to do this parenting thing alone. Consider After Bedtime your village.
Follow After Bedtime with Big Little Feelings on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Is your relationship going sideways?
Have a family issue? Problems with your coworker?
Do you need advice? We're here to help. No problem is too dumb. No dilemma is too silly. This is Help Wanted with BJ and Migs.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. What is Help Wanted? Well, for a long time now, we get messages, we get texts, we get people that are on the phone saying, hey, man, I need some advice. And it doesn't matter what it is. If you got a problem, you probably, I don't know why you think we can do it, but probably because we tell you we can.
Yes.
I don't think we can, but look, if you got a relationship problem or problem at work or anything else, why not give us a shot before you go pay money for therapy, right?
Oh, I mean, it can only go up from us.
Yeah, exactly.
So you get what you paid for.
And if you think it's a dumb idea, a dumb issue, well, then, yeah, you don't want to pay a therapist for that. We'll tell you if it's dumb right off the bat. We're here for you. 206-803-ROCK. It's Help Wanted.
Since you talk about, dumb is maybe not the proper term, but different. I don't know if this person would go to a therapist to ask this question. So they came to us and they said, hey, I'm getting really bored with my current podcast at work other than the fabulous podcast on the Odyssey app. So I was thinking about getting an Audible to listen to audiobooks while working. Some of the books I want to listen to are 16 hours long and normally cost $30. But with Prime, you get a free premium book every single month along with the free books. My only problem is I already pay a lot for streaming services. Should I get rid of one of my video streaming services for Audible, or should I just have it as a treat for myself?
This is a very good question, because at some point, I'm going to have to do this myself. I'm going to have to take a look at my finances and go, all right, let me look at every stupid streaming service I have.
Dude, it's like a streaming audit. I feel like I have to do it right now.
Oh, yeah, man. It is. And also with Prime and also Apple, there are a lot of TV shows that you can just outright buy. You might have to wait until they're completely done with their episodes. But because of that, I'm thinking, if I get this streaming service and it's just for one TV show that I could probably pay $30 for the season, why am I then spending like $10, $15 a month for the entire app when I only watch one show?
Right.
That's the kind of decisions that I think if he looks at this, he probably can save some cash in order to do the Audible thing.
Yeah, because I just saw the TV show Heels is coming back for a second season. It's like that. It's based on a wrestling promotion, but it's on Stars. It features Stephen Amell. It's not like just for wrestling nerds like myself, but like people who don't like wrestling like the show because it's really well done. And I liked season 1, and I'm like, I already got rid of the Stars app. And I'm like, do I re-sign up again just for...
You're a funny man, by the way.
Why is that?
Well, because I told you the same thing about some of the shows that I like. Like, look, you don't have to like zombies or you don't have to like sci-fi because the show itself is really good. And every time you go, I'm telling you right now, if it's old timey times or not right now times, I don't want to do it. And then every time you look at me and give me the same argument for wrestling, and I say the same thing to you, and I go, dude, I don't care if anybody's throwing anybody anywhere. I probably will find something else to watch.
Yes,
and you're like, no, you don't understand. It's a great show.
All fairness to me, right now, at no point did I say, BJ, you need to watch this show.
No, but I see the look in your eye.
That's on you, man.
I see the look in your eye. You're like
that look was to Danny.
Yeah, you're trying to. You go, words don't work with this guy. I will use my mental telepathy.
Oh, right. And, there's this other docu-series called The Monster Factory on Apple. You
oh, yeah.
You don't have to be a wrestling fan to like it, BJ.
Here's your line. Your line is, you don't have to be a wrestling fan. My line is, you don't have to be a science fiction fan.
The entire show is about mental health more than it is about wrestling.
Oh, here we go. So you get me with the mental health,
That's
aren't
right.
you?
I'm dropping the MH on you.
I should probably tell you that there's just like The Rock is in it. I just say The Rock is in everything that I want you to watch.
Or just say somebody in there is wearing spandex.
Oh, well, actually, every once in a while.
All right, let's go. Let's go with something maybe a little bit more serious.
Okay, so just take a look at your streaming services. But not for nothing, Steve. How about you have a job where you can listen to stuff? I think I would get I don't know what I could do that wouldn't confuse me. Where I need my brain to not be focused on it.
Someone says free at all libraries to get ebooks. I've saved thousands of dollars.
Oh, really?
So do you have to go to the library then to listen to the audiobook?
I think you may need to go to get your card.
What?
I just love. I got to go to a library. Why? I don't defeat them. Where are they?
Can I just go online and be like, "Yo, what's up, library people? Give me the free book."
Dude, it's pretty easy. Like down at Westfield South Center, whatever the hell they're calling that mall now, they got a library right inside the mall,
and you can listen to audiobooks on there.
You can do that. They let you do stuff for free. Sure.
Oh, man, this is a whole new world to me.
It's a whole new world.
My wife's got a library card. Can I just use hers?
I think they'll probably look at you and go, I don't think you are this person, but maybe she could help you out.
Sydney, that's a gender-neutral name.
I think library cards are free. You just walk in, they'll give it to you.
Yeah, but I like knowing that I'm scamming the system, even if I'm not.
Well, in that case, just walk into any library and just start stealing books at that point. They'll let anybody in.
I want to listen to them for free. That's all. I'm not stealing a book. I don't want the hard copy.
Oh,
well. It looks like there is an app for it. So you can get your ebooks and audiobooks through this app called Libby.
Oh, Libby.
Yes. Oh, like library. The Libby the librarian.
That's cool, man. See, you're saving money there, guy.
The library was always meant to be that for people, where you could get like cool stuff. And if you had no money, it didn't matter, which is why the library system was invented in the first place. So we'd all have access to knowledge.
So excuse my ignorance.
Listen, I think the library is trying to actually help you to really defeat that. But you go ahead.
Do I need to go to the library to get hooked up with Libby, or does Libby, I just go on Libby?
Libby is not easy. You got to go to her place. She's not going to come to your place.
Like, I don't want to have to go anywhere. Like, if I
but Libby's like, I'm worth it, Steve. You come to my house.
Do I have to get my library card first to get this?
I feel like maybe you got to be in the system.
Yeah, or you can just steal your wife's card again. She's already
go
got
online.
one. Yeah, exactly.
I suppose,
because I've been thinking about getting Audible as well. So I like this guy's question.
Yeah, it's a great question. Well, check it out. See what Libby's all about. Yeah, online, you could pose as your wife. They're not going to know if you do stuff online.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's fraud, is it? Well, we'll find out when you're in jail.
I'm catfishing my own wife so I can read books or listen to books for free.
Wouldn't that be awesome if you get arrested and that's the one thing you go to jail for is like as your wife's library info, you've just been using it. That would actually be kind of cool. But
it's like the person who has like an overdue book for like 30 years.
I'd come visit you.
Oh, I appreciate that. What, just to laugh at my face?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Thanks.
No, just so we could do that thing where you put your hand up to the glass, like we we really care about each other with the phone, and
you can feel like Spocky in the whale one.
Oh, look at you! You even know the reference. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's have you seen the meme with the Barbie box where it's Kirk and Spock?
I have not.
Oh yeah, where Spock is inside the Barbie box behind the glass, and Kirk is with the hand on the. Yeah, it's a nice thing. All right. Anyway, we have to help people.
All right. This one is a little bit more serious. Guys, I could use your advice. I think I made the biggest mistake of my life.
Oh.
2 months ago, I married my longtime girlfriend of 5+ years.
Okay.
The time leading up to the wedding was stressful, but the day was amazing. But that was the last day I've been happy. Since the wedding.
That is a powerful statement,
That
man.
is. Since the wedding, my wife has become incredibly controlling. She won't let me go out on the weekends and says I should be spending my spare time with my wife. It's driving me crazy, and now we fight all the time. It's like a switch was flipped on her, and I don't know how to switch it back. Divorce seems extreme, but I'm stuck. What do I do?
Wow.
I think you should just tell her, hey, when we got married, that was amazing, but that was the last time that I was happy with you.
Yeah, that'll go over very well.
I'm sure that would go over great.
Wow, that is a very deep issue. It's a super, super deep issue.
Man, so for 5 years, it sounds like the what was the girlfriend, now the wifeski, was fine with you going out, I'd imagine, since he's saying that now he's not able to go out with his friends.
Yeah, and look, we human beings, we are just not taught how to have really, really effective communications with each other when it's like that. Steve, I'm going to take you, for instance. You're blessed with a situation where, for whatever reason, your wife doesn't have a problem with you going out and doing what you got to do, have fun, do your wrestling, whatever. You've never come in and said, "Oh my gosh, I'm in trouble because I spent the weekend over here and my wife is upset."
No,
but a lot of people do have that. What would you do if all of a sudden that was a thing in your life? Would you know the way to be able to communicate effectively? I don't think a lot of us would. You're just lucky that you never have to face that.
I'd probably just wrestle more so I don't have to handle those situations.
See, a lot of guys do that. You're right. A lot of guys just go, you know how I'll fix this? I'll be around less.
I'll be around less. Then we argue less if I'm around less. It seems like it makes sense to me.
I think a lot of dudes, and that's why I ask you, Steve, because a lot of dudes don't know how lucky they are that their spouse is reasonable. And a lot of wives, too, don't know how lucky they are that their spouses are reasonable.
I'm very aware of how lucky I am with that because of past relationships where it was never like you can't do this, but it was like massive guilt, not so subtle guilt trips that were being thrown on me. And with my wife, at times I feel like I give myself guilt. Like I'm like, oh, this Catholic guilt's getting me. There'll be times where I'm like, I shouldn't do that. She's like, why aren't you doing it? I'm like, whoa, I don't want you to be upset. She's like, I'm not even upset about this. But in my head, because of past relationships, I'm like, oh, I can't agree to go do that this weekend because she'll get mad at me, even though she's never been mad at me about any of these things. She's probably happy to be away from me.
Do you think it would be different? Because everything that you go and do, for the most part, it's like wrestling and stuff like that. It's very not necessarily constructive, but if you think, do you think it should be cool with it if you were going out and getting blacked out every weekend?
No, she would not be. She would be like, there's a problem.
Yeah. See, because I'm kind of wondering, at that point, with this person, is it because of the things that they're doing, and it's not necessarily oh, I'm just going to go and hang out with the boys or something, but it's every time you go hang out with the boys, you don't come home until the next morning, because that's different.
I agree. I think there would be definitely a conversation that would be had, oh, what are you getting wasted every single weekend? Come on, what's going on here? That. And if that's what this guy's doing, maybe she's just at that point where it's hey, now that we're married, I don't know. It sounds a little extreme that all of a sudden, once you got married, you can't do anything anymore.
And that's the other thing is we don't know the full story.
Ooh. True.
And look, I say this, Texter, because look, we human beings, we just make up our own version, and it's really hard when we feel like we're wronged to really be unbiased and really give the full story. It's just a human thing. So that's why we have to be suspect, and say, hey.
It just feels weird after 5 years, all of a sudden it's just done?
Yeah.
That sounds crazy.
It is. And that's why usually when behavior like that is happening, I don't feel like I'm getting the full story. I feel like if I sat down and talked with her, I think I would get a different version. That doesn't mean you're a bad guy. Doesn't mean she's bad. That's why getting somebody that can help you guys speak the same language, because a lot of us just do not speak the same language. We're all very different people, and it's not even a gender thing. Human beings don't realize they don't speak the same language. They don't interact in life the same way. And that's why a counselor, a therapist, the people that know how to actually, translate your words into their words and vice versa are so helpful. And if you really want this marriage to work, man, there's a thing called EFT, emotional focus therapy, that is really, really effective. And lately myself, I've been having to bring that up because, it's funny. Just because you think you go to therapy and it's okay, every once in a while you slip back into old patterns. And so my wife and I right now are like, hey, let's get back into this EFT again. We got to do our homework, got to get back on the stick.
Is that when ET touches fingers with the other people?
That's ET therapy. It involves a lot of Reese's Pieces.
Finger touching.
Yeah, and finger touching, depending on
just
where.
Touching the tips.
See, I don't know if the tip is good. And
fingertips.
Yeah, I feel like, look, if it works for you, buddy, I'm not going to get in your way. Reese's and tips, you do what you got to do.
So what is electronic focus therapy?
No, it's yeah, you go to the ATM and you guys just put your hand in the slot. It's called emotional focus therapy. And it teaches you how to communicate your emotions effectively. You'd be surprised if you ask somebody how they feel. They really don't know how to tell you how they feel.
Right.
Sometimes there's a whole sheet of paper that says, I feel this, I feel that. And then eventually when you read all that list, you go, oh, yeah, that's how I feel. we're not taught that. We don't know. And a lot of us just really don't know how to communicate emotionally, but you still have emotions. You're still an emotional being. You just don't know how to do it. And guys were never raised that way. Even now, guys still aren't raised that way. While women have been allowed to be whatever they want in society, as we've changed with the women's movement, guys are still stuck in the sort of same, like, you're a guy, you're not supposed to. So it's tough for us to really communicate effectively, like, hey, this sucks. In a way that
it's like you're a toddler again. I see that sometimes even with Tatum, where she's like having a meltdown. I'm like, what are you upset about? And it's like, then a bunch of gibberish comes out of her mouth. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. And, and I can tell, like, she doesn't even know why she's upset, but she's just saying words because she's just trying to get something out of her, some emotion out.
And dude, that's a great example because it doesn't get better for a lot of us. Like, we still don't know how to tell somebody, I feel horrible, but I don't know how to tell you why I feel horrible. And so there's a great special on HBO, or you can get her book, Brene Brown's Axis of Love. That would be a great watch. Maybe the two of you could sit down and watch it, and just might learn some stuff. You might learn some stuff. Also, Byron Katie has a lot of free videos on YouTube. You watching her stuff, I think, could be helpful.
Someone texted in The Four Horsemen by Gottman. It's all about how to communicate the hard things in a relationship. There, I saved you a bunch of money in therapy.
Yeah, that's a great one. There's stonewalling. There's there's three more that I can't remember, but stonewalling is a big one. And that Gottman method is pretty sweet. And that's and somebody used that along with EFT with my wife and I back in the day.
I like the texter method. How about this? All you say is, you're right. I should spend time with my loving wife, but you're being a crazy bitch, so I'm going to go hang out with my buds. Let me know when my wife's around again. Is that Brene Gottman?
Yeah, Brene Gottman. That's a fusion of two. Yeah. Look,
that probably won't work.
Some people have effective means of communication. That might work with your spouse. I mean, really, results may vary.
I'm guessing the results won't work for that one.
So
today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. Here's another listener question. How do I rebuild my credit after filing bankruptcy?
You rebuild it, one creditor at a time by making your payments on time on your rent or your mortgage, by continuing to make car payments on a car that you keep during your case. You can also, as I said, you can almost always get a credit card almost immediately after filing bankruptcy. Sometimes it's a secured card, and it'll almost always have a really high interest rate on it. But you could get a small balance credit card and charge a tank of gas or a dinner once a month on that and make the payment, pay it off every month, and that'll help you build a credit history one creditor at a time, and will help you rebuild your credit over time.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at ChooseTheRightChapter.com. That's ChooseTheRightChapter.com. Thanks for listening.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Protect your vehicle's engine with Syntec and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec Premium Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines to dissipate heat and friction and reduce wear. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $33.99. Limit supply. See store for details. Get Syntec only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Have you or a loved one been injured in an accident? Are you struggling to recover fair compensation? Look no further. At Phillips Law Firm, the experienced personal injury attorneys will fight for your rights and get you the justice and compensation you deserve. They handle a wide range of cases, including car accidents, slip and falls, medical malpractice, and workplace injuries. Justice is a phone call away, so don't wait. Call today for a free case review. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
It's after bedtime, the kids are asleep, and the moms are out to play.
We're Dina and Kristen, the duo behind the Instagram account Big Little Feelings. I'm Dina. I'm a child therapist and mom of two who nerds out on all things neurobiology and psychology. And Kristen is a parent coach who wrangles 3 kids on a daily basis, here to give it to us like it is.
We weren't meant to do this parenting thing alone. Consider After Bedtime your village.
Follow After Bedtime with Big Little Feelings on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard the tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. All right, you know that website, Loudwire, great music website?
Yeah.
They've said, hey, man, hair metal ballads, what are the cheesiest?
See, I'm scared because I feel like all the cheesiest hair metal ballads are going to be some of my favorite songs. I was a sucker for the power ballad on every. I was a metalhead.
Yeah.
A lot of the hair metal growing up, and I always would remember that it was like the perfect strategy that they would always do. They'd release 2 singles, 2 rockers.
Yes.
And then the third single that would be released on MTV would be the power ballad, and I would always get so fired up for that one because I'm like, that's the one. It's tugging on my heartstrings.
Oh, dude, you know, if you have a power ballad, and that's been rock for so many years, long before hair metal bands.
The first 2 songs get the dudes,
yep,
and then that third song brings in the ladies. The next thing you know, they're monster hits. The band becomes a monster band.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's nuts. It goes for me. It goes all the way back to the Beach Boys because that was them too.
It's so funny how that was a strategy back in the old days when you put out the singles.
Yeah, they would have
you bought the records and you didn't stream anything.
All right, we got Surfin' Safari, we got Surfin' USA, and now Surfer Girl, Little Surfer, and I mean that's how they did it. They the up tempo ballad.
We're rockers. We have a sensitive side.
Hey, we surely do.
Some of those songs now looking back on it, and I still like them because of the nostalgia. But they are cheesy.
Well, here's one.
Lyrically, musically, production, everything's cheesy.
I'm going to say this right now, especially I think now that time has gone by, I think this, and look, it may be sacrilege to say it, but I think all in all, this band is cheesy.
Uh-oh.
I think this entire band is cheesy in like its big hit, all of it. I think it's massively cheesy. I think the look of the lead singer of this band is cheesy. To me, I'm this, and people may hate me or not.
Who are you talking about?
Here we go.
Oh, you shut your whore mouth.
Yeah, sorry.
Bon Jovi always look cool.
Yeah, it's cheesy as all hell.
He's gonna be there for you.
Yeah.
John Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Richie Sambora.
Yeah. This is way too cheesy.
They were cowboys on steel horses they rode.
Dude, he was a pretty boy hiding under hair. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean,
they were all pretty boys hiding.
But
that was like, I remember being a kid seeing all like the band ads and I'm like, I want to join a band and I want to be in a metal band. And it was like, first thing was must have nice hair, look good in spandex and be attractive. And I'm like, crap, I'm not going to do this.
You know you're a good band if you're ugly. I look at, you know what, I'm going to tell you right now, and the guy I can think of right now, Rick Ocasek, they had a good band and Rick was ugly. He was a praying mantis looking MF.
I'll be honest, I'd rather listen to Bon Jovi than the Cars any day.
Oh, you're high, buddy. But you're not wrong.
Oh, man, look, I didn't like all their songs, but some of their songs were just jams.
Yeah.
They were never my favorite of all the hair metal bands, though.
Yeah, and I'll be there for you. I still don't think. I mean, it's an okay ballad for Cheese Factor. Not the cheesiest in my book, though.
Yeah, it's very paint by numbers.
This one, though, yes, I think to me, and this isn't in any order, but for me, this is my number one cheesiest hair metal ballad.
Okay.
I think you're gonna have to go far and wide to find one cheesier.
Oh.
The lyrics, please.
Come on. I know Thrill hates this song.
Oh, it's horrible.
Nice.
Yeah. Every rose has its thorn. Go F yourself.
Just like every cowboy sings a sad
Yeah.
Sad song.
Okay, yeah. What is that even about? What is they? Just a bunch of words.
But it's awesome, man. The music video is great because it's like them on the road playing and they're just rocking out. But then there's this sad song that's being played while they're rocking out.
Yeah, it's just throw a bunch of words together that sound sad, and you'll get all the chicks.
Oh, now I gotta look up the lyrics.
Yeah, every cowboy sings a sad song, and I'll tell you. Here's the perfect example. Even the song that's the biggest song for our new buddy from Train, who's a big Mariners fan now,
Pat Monahan.
Yeah, Pat Monahan.
Or you think Kraken fan?
Look up, that's right, Kraken fan. He's a big Seattle guy now. But you look up Little Drops of Jupiter and look up the lyrics to that. They make no freaking sense, and it's the biggest hit in the world.
So what? A lot of songs make no sense, but oh blah dee, oh blah da, life going like shut up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think those are for the ladies. Ladies love the songs that make no sense. I want something to make sense in my life.
Was it something I said or something I did? Did the words not come out right? I tried not to hurt you, though I tried, but I guess that's why they say every rose has its thorn.
Who do you think he's singing to? Is he singing to the
to
roadie?
a hot bitch.
Yeah, to a hot bitch. All right. He is not singing to Danny.
Poetry, man.
Yeah. Every rose, I'm sorry, every rose has its thorn.
Every rose does have a thorn, though.
It's the cheesiest, okay? Now, I think this next one is the second cheesiest.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, for me on the list.
I love that Poison. I loved Poison, though.
Oh, no.
My parents hated Poison because I had a giant wall poster, a door poster, the one that covered the entire door. You had to pay extra for that. And it was Poison. And it was just them in peak makeup, packing their pants fades with tight spandex. And that's what my parents had to see every time they went upstairs. That's the exact one. Vicky found it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Man,
Is that just?
I wish I had it. I would put it in one of our rooms.
The only reason I know Poison is because of Rock of Ages. Like I didn't know Every Rose Has Its Thorn until it was immortalized in that movie, and it was like, oh, okay. But it's such a cheesy thing as well.
Every time I hear this song, I remember. I think it was the Ted Smith and possibly you, Steve, singing it, and I can't unhear it whenever I hear it. I hear it in your guys' voices.
We did it on that. We did that bit where we used to sing songs, and people had to guess what song we were singing.
Oh my God!
And that's the song "Nothing But a Good Time." That was on that record too. Mama don't dance, but your dad don't rock and roll.
Whoa! That's an old song that was covered.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's Kenny Loggins and Messina right there, I believe.
Well, they did it better.
I would argue dead against that one, sir, but that's all right. All right, so Every Rose Has Its Thorn.
I'm listening to Poison today.
Yeah, for me, you know what? You go ahead. I'm going to let you take that job. And look, that to me is the cheesiest on this list. This to me is the second cheesiest song, according to Loudwire, the cheesiest heavy metal ballads of all time.
Shut up!
Yeah, sorry.
Underrated band, Cinderella. That guy's voice, Tom Kiefer.
I won't argue about the voice. The guy's got a good voice.
He had the best metal voice.
Yeah.
Man, you're making me Google. My Google search is on fire right now to remember other songs. Did they do the Round and Round song? Round and round.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Cinderella, man. You have to remember that granted, I don't have great musical taste for rock, but I was a new wave guy. So it was
Rat.
My
bad. Sorry.
Oh, Rat. Sorry, but another fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah. This band, not to be confused with Ice House, because there was a band called Ice House, but this one from Firehouse.
Oh, I hated this one. I didn't like Firehouse. I don't know why. They sound no different than any of the other bands we
they
played.
look no different than any of the other ones.
But they bothered me.
Yeah, well, I think because they showed you the truth of how garbagey all this was.
I don't think I like his hair.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah.
That's enough. Get out, pal.
Yeah. This poser.
God, I hate this look so bad. And to see early versions of, is it Pearl Jam, or even Nirvana, some of the guys?
Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, definitely, because they were a glam metal band before they became Alice in Chains.
Yeah, to see some of those dudes dress up like that, like,
teased hair.
Yeah, to see Mike McCready a little bit like, they were
all
just like, come on, boys.
Dude, they were all hair metal guys.
Yeah, I know, and I think they understood. Now, this one over here, this guy, to me, totally typified the whatever, just the ridiculousness of the genre. Nelson. Like this
guy, they were twins, brother.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Basically, the Nelson family, because they're descendants of Ozzie and Harriet, right? If I'm not
they
mistaken.
were the son of the guy Nelson.
There you go. Here we go.
They were solely for the ladies.
Yeah.
I didn't know any dudes that were into Nelson. Like, we all were like, I don't know why you pick and choose. Like, they all looked basically the same. But we're like, no, those guys are just way too girly for us.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, they're no different than Poison. But we
They
thought
did have a
Poison
different-
were dudes.
They did have a different look, though. You know, there was a slightly, different, like, lady-friendly look to those guys, I would say. And of course, their dad was Ricky Nelson, big pop star back in the day, and of course, the parent. Talk about nepo babies or whatever. That whole family was just like Entertainment Central because Ozzy and Harriet, big TV show back in the day, and they were the grandparents.
BJ, you skipped one we absolutely have to put in.
Oh, what
there.
did I? Oh, yeah. Well, I saved the best for last.
You did, because this is a ballad, but it's about murdering a woman so that she can stay with you.
Oh, wait a second. I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, dude.
That's what this is about?
The song is insane by Motley Crue.
Wow. Oh, it says it's based on a true story in the video. What? They're singing about some dude that murdered a chick?
There's a line and it says, "But killing you helped me keep you home."
Oh, dude, and they sang a song, and
I guess it was bad, because love can be sad, but we finally made the news.
And it says it's based on a true story in the video.
I don't know if it's a true story on what one of the members did, but I'm sure there's lots of awful stories. But how about they're like, this is a messed up story. We should write a love song about it.
Dude, that is so disturbing. It just goes to show you the times. You could not do that today.
The first line is, "The blade of my knife faced away from your heart."
Whoa, that is so horrible.
Those last few nights, it turned and sliced you apart.
You get into some like emo bands these days, and they would. I'd definitely write a song like this. It's
They
like
would
that
take
whole morbid. Yeah, Like,
really? And nobody would be pissed at them? Like writing a song about a dude killing his girl to keep her?
100%. I think it would happen.
But that's true love.
Yeah.
Look at this. The guy says, "The love I tell, now I feel lonely as hell from this padded prison cell."
Till death do us part, man.
Yeah.
I cannot believe in today's climate you can write a song like that and think that people aren't going to go, dude, that's wrong.
That would require me paying attention to lyrics, but I'm sure there are songs out there.
I mean, let's be honest. Like we make fun of John Cusack with a boombox stalking somebody, going, "You can't make movies like that anymore." You can still make songs that are like talking about a guy killing a woman to keep her as her guy.
According to one story Vicky just found, it says that in his memoir, The Heroin Diaries, Nikki Sixx said the song was inspired by a relationship in his own life.
Okay.
I can't imagine that he actually killed anybody.
Well, geez, that's a hell of an admission. I think somebody should do a murder podcast and investigate that
But
whole
it's like
thing.
today's the day when someone, like, when this list came out and people are like, "Wait a second,
wow,
lyrically that's kind of weird. We should check with Nikki Sixx."
Yeah. Hey, Selena Gomez, you might want to get Steve Martin and Martin Short to investigate this because that seems very bizarre.
Tied up smiling, I thought you were happy. Never opened your eyes. I thought you were napping. Well, I got so much to learn about love in this world, but we finally made the news.
God, that is so bad. And that's
You're all I need. Make you only mine. I loved you.
Wow. I would like
So
to...
I set you free. I had to take your life, BJ.
So I would like to say, Nikki, what really happened in that relationship?
Apparently, he thinks she had an affair on him. And so probably he created this fantasy of murdering her. It's what most people do, BJ.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, that's fair.
It's the darkest power ballad,
so
I think, ever.
Wow, is that dark?
And I never even knew the lyrics about it, honestly, until I read the story and said the lyrics is about murdering someone. I'm like, no, it's not. And then you read it, you're like, I was singing along to this at their concert when I saw them on this tour.
Dude, I think the disturbing thing for me is if you watch the video, it says based on a true story, and you go, what part of it is true? Like,
Yeah.
Because you're choking a...
Loosely based, BJ.
Yeah, very, I mean... Wow. All right, well, there you go. Your cheesiest power ballads of all time. Right there, according to Loudwire.
Pretty crazy.
Very crazy.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
Needless to say, you don't play favorites, but every family has a natural unspoken hierarchy, and always has. At least when it comes to claiming your place in the car. You know how it goes. The one with the longest legs, you're up front. Congratulations. The shortest kid, you're in the way back. And the nicest sibling with the best attitude, right smack dab in the middle. Sorry, buddy. Is it usually the mild-mannered middle child? You bet. They're such a good sport. Is it fair, comfortable, and enjoyable for all? Absolutely not. Until now. Finally, the first ever Lexus TX is a 3-row SUV where everybody wins. With intuitive tech, cup holders for all, loads of elbow room, cargo room, and leg room. for everyone, no matter where they sit. This is a new era of three-row luxury, the Lexus TX. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem are one of the greatest fake bands of all time, according to Danny V.
I mean, there's a good argument for them being definitely a top 5.
And how about these Muppets have now made it into the Billboard charts thanks to the Disney Plus show Muppets Mayhem.
Is anyone watching that? I've heard it's awesome.
I have not.
You haven't? No,
I haven't watched it yet. I'm waiting for Lily to get here, and when she gets here, that's gonna be a binge watch.
It, yeah.
Yeah, apparently the Disney Plus show's soundtrack debuted at number 13 on the Kids Albums charts. And here's their version of Rock and Roll All Night off of the soundtrack.
Dr. Teeth just got sued by Gene Simmons for doing that. It's kind of sad.
You know what's interesting is, I mean, it sounds good. I wonder who the band is. Like, if we'll ever find out who the folks are that are being in this band.
And also the production, I mean, it's better than the studio production of the KISS records from back in the day. I mean, that was always the argument was like their live stuff was made them big because the album stuff didn't sound all that great. And that sounded really good.
Yeah, it did.
So this is a kids record?
Yeah, and frankly, it's so funny because that's, like you said, it's a rock song that sounds good. Granted, a rock song that's, 35, 40 years old.
I got to imagine maybe even longer.
You might be right. It might be 50-something years
pushing
old.
50,
Yeah, so, okay. All right, good for them.
Huh. So who's the singer? Dave? Wait, no. Uncle Joey's the singer?
It says vocals for the members.
Dave Coulier?
Dave Coulier is one of the vocals, apparently.
What?
I Googled it.
Whoa.
That's awesome.
I don't know if he's the lead vocalist, but how cool is Dave Coulier being, unless he's the voice of one of the...
he must be the voice of one of the characters.
Oh, and he's just getting...
Is there a way to find that out? Like, who does Dave Coulier the voice of in the Muppets? I wonder?
I wouldn't be surprised if you go to IMDb.
Yeah.
Muppets, whatever.
I'm looking.
That's pretty cool.
So is Muppets Mayhem on Apple TV
Plus?
Okay.
Yeah.
Disney, right? Isn't
That's
that
Disney Plus?
Disney Plus.
Oh, Disney Plus. My bad.
Okay, I was like...
Disney owns the Muppets.
Yeah.
So if you got Disney Plus, you're in.
All right, so that poses the question then. I got to wonder for you guys. I mean, they're one of the best fictional bands, but are they your favorite fictional band?
Oh, no. The favorite fictional band is the Monkees for me.
The Monkees, which became an actual band, though.
Yeah, that's why I love them, is they were a fictional band that ended up making some really good tunes.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good pick.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm trying to think. I mean, that's a tough one now, trying to think of like Eddie and the Cruisers from when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was a pretty good. Who did that? I remember the dude's real name. Did the? Because we used to credit him when we played the song.
Yeah,
we played their song, and it was we gave the real band the name. We like whoever the real. Oh man, I can't remember who it was.
What was the song? We just talked about
On the Dark Side.
On the Dark Side.
And yeah, it was a guy that we knew. And like I'd heard the name in the world of music before, the one that originally
John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band.
And they were a band that I had heard of before, so it was really cool that they got, even though they weren't the singers, they were the guys that originally did the song.
Which is, I mean,
on the dark side.
You go Eddie and the Cruisers, you should definitely has been called Eddie and the Beavers or something like that. They give him a nod. You know?
Eddie and the Beavers.
Eddie and the Beavers.
There you go. Yeah.
Also, update just real quick. I'm not seeing Dave Coulier doing any of the Muppets voices.
Oh, son of a bitch.
So he just did the song, according to what you found, Vicky? That's so weird if he was on the song.
Yeah, I typed in who are the singers of Dr. Teeth and Electric Mayhem, and it says these are the members, and a couple other people I don't recognize.
Maybe at one point he did something, but maybe not in the current show.
All right, well.
Ooh, you know what? It's a good one. Spinal Tap. Someone just texted in.
Oh, yeah.
For fictional bands.
Yeah, your favorite fictional band.
Steel Dragon.
Steel Dragon from, what the hell?
Rockstar
with Mark Wahlberg.
Yes.
But then he quit the band to become a grunge folk singer-songwriter in Seattle.
Dude, I love that movie for so many reasons. And I mean, like going with our last topic of the hair metal bands, and, you know, it's like That is such a fun document. I mean, I think it's even listed as a comedy where it's just like what happened to hair metal, and then like the Seattle grunge just came and killed it.
It's so great. And I think it's like loosely based on the story of Judas Priest.
I think you said yes. I think you're right.
Right, because it was like Ripper Owens. He was a fan that then became the lead singer of Judas Priest for a little bit.
Yeah.
So do you count like do you count Steel Panther?
No,
because I mean they are a band, but they're a parody of.
It's not fictional though.
Yeah, you're right. It's not. It's a tough one with them.
It's
because,
not tough at all. It's cut and dry, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you're right. They make
write their own songs.
They write their own songs.
They weren't based off of like a TV show or a movie or something like that. They were just their own thing.
Then Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
That's a fictional band.
Susan Dick from Singles.
Yeah. The Archies, because they had a song.
Yeah, they absolutely did.
Sugar Sugar, which was sampled. I forget what hip hop song sampled Sugar Sugar, but it was they were fictional.
There is one I don't think you guys are going to know, but maybe Danny remembers. It's called the Hex Girls, and they're from a Scooby-Doo movie, I think, with the witch's ghost. And they definitely were the beginning of me questioning whether I like girls or guys and goth girls in general, because they were just like these sexy.
I've heard of the
goth
Hex Girls.
bands.
Oh wow! Oh, that was so it was animated. It was animated.
It was animated, and I think this was maybe like the early 2000s, maybe late 90s. Oh, and this sparked a lot of things for me, if you will.
All right.
Both in like, hey, I like
Zoinks.
I like the goth stuff, but I also maybe like the goth ladies.
Right, bro. Bro, I like boobies.
Yeah.
Not just that, but yes.
Dude, I forgot one. Here's a good one. For my fellow Lost fans, Drive Shaft.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, Charlie's band.
I mean, they were basically Oasis. It was him and his brother. They fought a lot. That was awesome.
Forgot about Drive Shaft, yes.
Drive Shaft were the best.
I got one for you, Steve. The Lone Rangers.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
Airheads.
I don't.
The Wild Stallions.
Yeah.
Bill and Ted.
All right.
There's so many great fake bands.
Yeah. All right. I'm digging it.
Someone said, was it Death Clock? Oh, and they're actually going on tour, but they're a fictional band, but they're on tour with Baby Metal.
That's funny.
Death Clock.
It's like a metal band. It was from a cartoon.
Metalocalypse.
So then would you call gorillas that way?
See, I know some people might consider them because it's a fictional band that is actual people in the band, though. I know it's a way like they're
very weird. Yeah.
They're cartoon versions of themselves.
Yeah.
And they're a band, although like one member's actually like a gorilla, and like it's kind of, but it's a real band.
Yeah, it's definitely it's on the line right there. It's definitely vibing.
If it was a cartoon first and then became a band, then I'd be like, yeah, it's a fictional band. But the fact that they were just a band that wanted to kind of sort of be anonymous, and created like a cartoon persona, I don't think that makes them fictional.
Yeah, it's. I'm trying to think, man, because Miley Cyrus did a fictional that's when she did the 9 Inch Nails song. It was from a Black Mirror episode, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Was she playing like a character?
She was playing a character who was a pop star that did rock, but it wasn't her. She wasn't Miley Cyrus in the episode.
So she'd be a fictional artist.
Yeah, so that's but she was in a band singing this song, and so I guess that works.
What about Stillwater from the movie Almost Famous? Someone just texted in.
Yeah.
That's a very good one.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of fake bands out there.
Oh, someone said, Heath Girls and She Go are the reason for my love of goth girls.
Okay. Okay, then.
Yeah.
Nice.
Someone said, from the movie Euro Trip, the Scotty Doesn't Know, the song.
Oh.
Lustra.
What's the name of it?
The name of the band is Lustra.
Lustra?
Yeah, that's what they go by.
Was that the fake band or the real band?
I don't know. I know that we play it at emo night, and that's what the band comes up as.
Scotty doesn't know.
Scotty doesn't know. That's funny that's like a fictional song that's still a hit.
Oh yeah, you can listen to that and start playing it anywhere, and everyone will start singing it.
Yep.
Yeah, man. And there's when you think about it, any show at all that had music. Well, gosh, where do you put Little Dicky and Dave?
Well, Dave's an actual Lil Dicky is a hip hop artist. It's not fictional. He started as a hip hop artist and then became a TV show about his hip hop exploits.
Yeah, you're right. So it's a weird thing. I'm trying to because I mean, what was that? Oh, dang! It was on Fox. It was that show about the music show that had Taraji P. Henson and all those guys. Empire.
Yep.
Like there were some songs in there.
Drip, drop, drip, drip,
yeah,
drop.
Exactly. Yeah,
I love that song.
Yeah, that was fake, right? Everything was fake in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They had a couple like fun hip hop songs in that in the first season.
Yeah. All right. And then do we count the guys that did, like the Peacemaker guys, like the song they sing in Peacemaker at the opening of the episode where they're all singing they're dancing and singing to that song?
I think
that's an actual band.
That's an actual band.
Oh, that's a real song? Oh, I thought that was for the show.
No, that's an actual band. They had like a research. They broke up, and then that song was used. And I think they might have got back together because like, oh crap, we're really popular again.
Oh damn! All right.
Do you want to taste it? Yeah, Wigwam.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. We talked about Wigwam. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're still a band again or maybe they gave it a shot, but that song is, oh man, that song is great.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that song.
Man. Hey, you guys remember the pizza shop owner who offered free pizza for a year in exchange for Taylor Swift tickets?
Yes.
And we were like, okay. Turns out the dude got his wish. This guy, Xander White, his wife, really wanted to see Tay-Tay, but tickets, very expensive, very hard to get. So, they're in New Orleans. They got a pizza joint, and they're like, hey, man, how would you like free pizza for a year to Z's Pizzeria if you give us tickets? And this woman, Janine, was on Facebook, saw the offer, and she was going to Taylor's Houston show with a friend, and they had 2 extra tickets. So they made it happen for these two.
That answers my question, because I was like, who's giving up their tickets just for pizza? But if you had extra, maybe they bought them and someone bailed out. I still feel like you probably could have made a pretty penny.
You really could have, man.
Unless you're just like, you know what? We did the math, and I'm going to eat a lot of freaking pizza.
She says, yeah, I get it for a full year. Going to try to go to this place as often as I can. She said, but I'm trying to stay healthy. That's always a challenge. But
don't do this deal if you're trying to stay healthy.
I feel like they're trying to be nice.
Yeah, they look like nice. They're older ladies, and they look really nice.
And Facebook is like, oh, like we're doing a nice thing for everybody. We're Facebook buddies. Because you're right. She could probably get a ton for those ticks.
Yeah, unless they were like, we got them for free or whatever. And they're like, you know what? We'll pay it forward, but we could get some free pizza out of the deal.
That wouldn't stop Steve from, if he had free ticks, from selling them for big money.
I've never sold tickets.
Well, Taylor Swift might change your mind.
If I got them for free, I wouldn't.
Really?
No.
Wow.
That's a part. I've always said, like,
wow.
Through work, we've gotten our fair share over the time. Not every concert, but sometimes you can get extra pair of tickets to a show. And I've had friends be like, dude, what do I owe you for this? And they're fully ready to pay me ticket face value or more. And I'm like, they're free. And they're like, no. I owe you something. I'm like, all it cost me was an email to my coworker. Like, I'm not going to charge you. I don't feel right about that.
You're a better man than me.
Thank you. I know.
Like in that scenario where you're just taking your friends, that's different. But when it comes to something as insane as what these Taylor Swift tickets are going for, like you normally are not going to get a free ticket that has that kind of value.
If I bought Taylor Swift tickets and then I realize I have an extra pair or an extra couple tickets or whatever, and I'm like, and I paid for them, I'd have no problem then selling them.
So what you're saying is the station, if you bought tickets, the station gave you free tickets, then you're selling the ticket you bought.
Yes.
Okay. Well, all right. There we go.
Yes.
Unless
the tickets I bought were better, then I'll sell the station. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No,
of course. Yeah. You got to. No, you take the better tickets.
No, but honestly, like if I had bought tickets and then the station gave me some tickets and I looked at them, I'm like, the tickets I bought are better. I would just give away the tickets.
Wow.
Yeah,
not me.
I just I just don't feel right about it, and B, like I don't want to lose my job because I try to sell a pair of tickets that I got for free.
Okay, yeah, I'm saying if you could get off scot-free and nobody knew,
I still wouldn't do it.
Yeah, see, I would. Again, we're talking 4 figures. I mean, when do you get that kind of money for tickets?
I always find
never.
Yeah. It's like Super Bowl tickets, man. It's like, if I can make some cash, why wouldn't I do it? Because it's just crazy money.
I do always find it funny, too, because a lot of those tickets that we get are all in the same section. So it's like all of a sudden, radio person, 2 randos, radio person, and it's like, how did you guys get these tickets? Oh, I bought them off this guy named Steve in the alley.
Yeah, I did.
I gave him $2,000 a ticket.
Yeah.
It was a good deal, right? And I have to give him pizza for a year.
So making that deal.
Steve Figs, I think is his name. I'm not sure.
Steve Figs is a great guy.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. Here's another question from a listener. How long is a bankruptcy going to affect my credit rating?
Of course, most of the time, by the time we're talking about filing a bankruptcy, the credit has already taken a huge hit. Chapter 7 is going to affect it more negatively than Chapter 13. Chapter 7 stays on your credit report for 10 years from the time you file. It usually takes 7 or 8 years for your credit scores to get back into the normal range in a Chapter 7 case. However, your credit will start to recover even in Chapter 7 after about a year. You'll be able to get credit again right away, usually before your case is even over. Chapter 13 stays on your credit report for 7 years and usually takes about 3.5 years for your credit to get back in the normal range. So Chapter 13 will mean your credit gets better much more rapidly.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Dealing with an accident and injury claim can be overwhelming. Let Phillips Law Firm fight for you. We understand the pain and suffering, and we're here to guide you through. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today for a free case review, or visit justiceforyou.com and let Phillips Law Firm help you on the road to recovery.
It's after bedtime, the kids are asleep, and the moms are out to play.
We're Dina and Kristen, the duo behind the Instagram account Big Little Feelings. I'm Dina. I'm a child therapist and mom of two who nerds out on all things neurobiology and psychology. And Kristen is a parent coach who wrangles 3 kids on a daily basis, here to give it to us like it is.
We weren't meant to do this parenting thing alone. Consider After Bedtime your village.
Follow After Bedtime with Big Little Feelings on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your home is going into foreclosure and you feel like a financial wreck. You don't know where to turn for accurate information. I'm bankruptcy attorney Travis Gagne. Let's talk about some legal options. If we work quickly, we can propose a plan to save your home, modify the loan, or in many cases even eliminate your second mortgage. The consultation is free. I've helped hundreds of people just like you make informed decisions about whether to save their home or exit it on a reasonable, organized timeline. The chapter you choose sets the tone for the next chapter of your life. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
Let's play Beat Migs.
It's time to play the game. So everybody scream his name. Beat Migs, don't be a loser. Whoa. Beat Migs, you're a loser.
Who's ready to be Migs? I know Adam from Shelton is. Adam, are you there?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Adam.
All right, Steve, now get out.
Goodbye.
For those playing at home, Adam has 60 seconds to answer 10 questions. You can pass all you want, but you will only get 3 guesses per question. Are you ready?
Let's get at her.
At what university did Tiger Woods play collegiate golf for 2 years before turning pro?
Princeton.
No.
Yale.
No.
Stanford.
Yes. The Netflix series Stranger Things takes place in what decade?
The 50s.
No.
60s.
No.
70s.
No. Queen had the mid-70s album titled A Night at the what?
Roxbury.
No.
Pass.
Traditionally in business language, what does the abbreviation EOD stand for?
End of day.
Yes. What is the largest city in Ohio?
Chillicothe.
No.
Columbus.
Yes,
Cincinnati.
Columbus. If there are 5,280 feet in 1 mile, how many feet are in half a mile?
2,750.
No.
2,942.
No.
Uh-oh.
3 correct, Adam.
Oh, man.
You know, a little math to
rough.
start your morning, okay?
I hate those city questions. I really do.
Really?
They're very deceiving because you're probably going by population, I would imagine. And metropolitan area population is bigger and makes a city feel bigger than actually city population.
You got that one correct.
I know, but that city isn't the one that really is the big place in that place.
Well, he still got it right. Are you saying you wouldn't?
I'd be mad because you're probably right, but it's not the big place. It's so frustrating. So that's why. Never mind. We'll talk about it.
Let's see if Steve gets it right.
I don't know if Steve will get. Maybe he'll get it. He might be in the same boat as I'm in. He might be going, "What are you talking about? It's got to be that."
So I'm grabbing that life vest and jumping off the boat, baby.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Steve.
I hope you're okay, Steve. This could be a tough one for you.
Steve, are you ready?
They wrote me off. I ain't right back though.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the problem. I ain't right back. Let's go.
He's wearing his. He's got his brand new Geno jersey, throwback style.
That's right. Repping Geno Smith,
Looking
baby.
good.
Thank you.
At what university did Tiger Woods play collegiate golf for 2 years before turning pro?
Harvard?
No.
Princeton?
No.
Yale?
No. The Netflix series Stranger Things takes place in what decade?
I'm going to go 70s.
No.
80s.
Yes. Queen had the mid-70s album titled A Night at the What?
Opera.
Yes.
Yeah.
Traditionally in business language, what does the abbreviation EOD stand for?
End of day.
Yes. What is the largest city in Ohio?
Cleveland.
No.
Cincinnati.
No.
Sandusky.
No. If there are 5,280 feet in 1 mile, how many feet are in half a mile?
What was the question again?
If there are 5,280 feet in 1 mile, how many feet are in half a mile?
Pass.
A Spoonful of Sugar is a song from what Disney movie?
Mary Poppins?
Yes.
Nice work.
The primary colors found in the Walmart logo are blue and what?
Blue and yellow.
Yes. How many children does Chris Pratt have?
Chris Pratt has 3.
Yes.
Nice work.
What was Michael Jordan's jersey number for most
23.
of his NBA? Wow. Yes. And with that,
Yeah.
woo, you got 7 correct, which is a win, 7-3.
Sorry, Adam.
Yeah.
Some days you got to just take that whooping I got coming.
Yeah, but
Some days.
you got the Ohio question right, which is really. And Steve, I mean, you'll know it because there's a hockey team that plays there.
Columbus.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's the capital. And I'm sure they have more population, but like I was telling Sarah, metropolitan area, Columbus is nowhere near as big as Cleveland or Cincinnati for that matter.
Yeah.
But I hate those questions so much.
What was the question that makes you hate it so much? What was it?
Well, what's the biggest city? And of course you think of the place that's like got a lot of stuff going on, but unfortunately it's the metropolitan area, whereas Columbus may have more people that are living in their city itself than maybe Cleveland does. But
Yeah,
Cleveland's
it's
a
the
bigger
capital,
area.
so.
It doesn't mean nothing. Olympia is the capital of here, and it's not the biggest joint we got in Washington.
True. The Adam did not skip the 5,280
I am
feet.
so glad I skipped that one.
Yeah, so he got stuck on that one and never got it. 2,640.
Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to
You
say.
would have never got it.
2,640?
There we go.
That's
Good
a tough
job.
question.
Duh. Well, congratulations on
Yeah, I
beating
was like,
Adam.
I could figure this out, but this is going to take up
Way too long.
pretty much the entire rest of the game for me to make that happen.
Such a tough question.
Yes.
Nice work, though.
Thank you.
You won. That's all that matters.
Big W.
Woo!
Big W for this boy. So early this morning, we were talking about the drumming YouTube page, Drummio. And Steve, you were talking. I mean, this is a rabbit hole that you go down.
Oh, dude! My wife's like, "What are you watching?" And I was watching yesterday because they'll find like a random jazz fusion drummer that's well known in that world, or a random a drummer for like R&B or a metal drummer, and then they'll be like, "Hey, we're gonna play you this hit song that you probably have never heard. We'll play it for you without the drums. So every other instrument's in there, the vocals, all that. You have to listen to it once, actively listen, and then we're gonna play it again, and you have to just create a drum beat." And that goes with the song. So it's kind of like a fun challenge, and it's always good to hear, cool to hear a drummer's interpretation of a song without ever hearing the actual drums.
Yeah, so I thought that when you were telling me about that, I said, hey, man, I would love to hear that piece where he takes the Killer song, Mr. Brightside.
So like a bunch of guys in the studio, they play it for Dirk Verburen, who's the drummer for Megadeth. So,
yeah.
But he's like a fan of all types of music, he says, and he's actually a studio drummer as well. Like he's done this type of stuff before where someone will be like, hey, you got to come and play this song, and he's got 1 day to figure out what to play on the song. So it's not like he's like a stranger to playing drums to other types of music.
But a person like me would think, okay, I mean, drummers are there just to help keep the beat. Maybe they can have a little flair. I just never think that they might have a different interpretation if they've never heard a song and had to come up with their own drum beat for it. And this is a great example. So here's the original tune, Mr. Brightside, with the drummer for the Killers actually playing on the song.
That's I think his name's Ronnie Fanucci. He's a good drummer.
Oh,
man.
what a great name, Ronnie Fanucci.
Hey, I'm Ronnie Fanucci. I feel like
that.
he should always wear shirts where it's completely unbuttoned, showing his chest hair.
Yeah. Yes.
That's just the look.
And his nickname should be the Nooch.
The Nooch.
Oh, yeah, the Nooch. You're right.
The Nooch on the drums.
Hey, how you doing, Nooch?
4 on the floor with the Nooch.
So hearing that sort of, I think, a frenetic pattern that builds with that drum, I would just go, of course that goes with this song. But again, Dirk Verburen from Megadeth never heard the song before. They did not let him hear the original drum beat, so he was tasked with, okay, what would you do if you had to come up with a drum beat for the same song? Oh, wow.
See how it slows it down?
Yeah.
And it's the same tempo.
Interesting. Wow. You know what, Steve? I've never, ever noticed drums before, but boy, that is decidedly different.
It's a massive difference.
Yeah.
And then he throws in those little double bass licks like a metal drummer. And then this part, like he starts building it back up, and it's kind of similar to what Ronnie does.
Yeah, that is. You're right. There
now
it
he's
is.
double the time.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun if you're not a drummer to kind of hear why drumming is very important to a song.
It surely is, dude. Honestly, man,
Plus, it's fun to watch this super metal drummer from Megadeth play this super over-the-top pop rock song.
Yeah, this it doesn't sound bad, and I don't think I would have noticed the difference out of either one of them if you just said, well, this was going to be the riff. I would have been like, okay, I mean, it doesn't hurt the song, but boy, it's so different than Nooch's.
I think the Nooch.
the Nooch's is so different.
I think the verse part, I don't think the song would have ever been a hit if that was the type of drumming. It just kind of. And it's no insult to him. He even said, like, oh, yeah, that's actually a really cool way of playing the drums on that part. It slows that song down.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have that same energy that you love. I mean, the verse, the chorus, and then everything after that, he kind of goes along with how it should sound. But it's crazy what a difference a different drummer can make for a song.
You know, it's interesting because you talk about pacing, man, and it all started earlier, a different version of Basket Case. And it's a country version, but it's also a slower version. Yeah. And I watched the Go-Go's documentary, and they talked about the fact the reason the Go-Go's became hits was because they told them to slow it down because they were super quick pop punk, and they had all the songs they had.
Yeah.
But they were like, if you just slow this down a little bit, you guys have got hits. And once they did that, my gosh,
that's funny.
Yeah, and so you're right, Steve. The tempo and the it just means so much.
Which is funny because the tempo is the same. I mean, he's just playing along to what was already recorded.
I should say the speed. Yeah,
I mean,
speed.
He kind of doubles the tempo a little bit. You know, obviously, like, yes, you can't do much other than that. But it's funny to hear how, like, his style of drumming just did not mesh well for the verses.
Well, thank you for doing that, man, because I really was really ignorant to what drummers do. I couldn't tell the difference with my naked ear until you gave it like that. That's a great site, Drumeo.
Oh, dude, you want to go down the rabbit hole. I mean, they have like another,
do I got the time? I don't know if I got the time.
I don't know if we do, but like I know there's like one guy, like I think he was the drummer for Michael Jackson. Yes. They have him listen to Linkin Park. And like he has to figure out what to do. Again, never hearing the drums.
Wow.
Some well-accomplished jazz drummer listens to Metallica. It's super fun.
That is very fun.
And you can tell the drummers really enjoy doing it because it's a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome stuff. So the site's called Drumeo on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's all free for you to enjoy.
Oh, that's the price we all like.
The best price, free content.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW. Hey, you got something to say? I got something to say. They're wild, rabid, and on the loose. This is Listeners on the Loose.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Listeners on the Loose, brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Listeners on the Loose, you pick the topic, you guide the show. Here are the numbers, 206-803-ROCK. Okay, that's all the numbers you need to call. That's all you need to text, 206-803-ROCK. But you know Steve. Steve doesn't tolerate mediocrity.
Oh, I kind of tolerate that. Just as long as it's high energy. Show some energy and bring it. Otherwise, have to gong you and then say goodbye.
Goodbye, old friend.
So if you can bring some high-end mediocrity, 206-803-ROCK, that's the number to call. That's the number to text.
Somebody wanted to know, Jason from Tacoma, he said, what was the path like to a career in broadcasting? I was hanging out with the men's room on Sunday. He says, hanging out with them really inspired me. And people have always told me, I have a voice for radio. What was your journey to where you all are? Was it a rough one? Would you recommend it?
Steve, you know how much I love this question.
I love this question so much.
I hate this question so much.
I love it so much because it's a funny thing that whenever I meet somebody and they're like, people have always said I have a voice for radio. What do you think? And I'm like, do you not hear my voice and other people's voices? Like, voice has nothing to do with getting a job in radio. If it did, I'd be unemployed.
Not anymore. It used to.
Yeah, it did.
It used to.
But I mean, I slur my words. I have a slight lisp. I mean, I can't help myself. What do you want from me? My tongue's bigger than my mouth. But somehow I've been able to make a career out of it. I don't even English isn't even my first language. I don't even know what my first language is.
I don't know what your first language is.
I think it's just stupid.
Stupid's a great language, though, because a lot of people speak it.
But I think it's funny when people say, how can I get into the radio industry? I have a good voice. I'm like, well, that's not – unless you're looking to be like the announcer guy, like does like all the production stuff or voiceovers – your voice really doesn't. I mean, it can't be awful, but that's not really the make or break for a radio career.
And since I get to answer this generically, how old are you, sir?
69 years old.
It is not a game for anybody who is 35 plus because you just do not have what it takes to be entry level and deal with being an entry level scrub.
Unless you have low cost of living and you're not married.
Dude, it's the mentality. People still do not like being entry-level scrubs when they're at a certain age. Mm-hmm. You're right. Even if they're not married, think about it. It's so tough. If I were to tell you, be treated exactly the way you were when you were in your 20s, I don't think you'd tolerate it. It's so hard to tolerate.
Of course not. But I think people also the climate's different in that sense.
Hey, let's not bring global warming into this. Yeah. All right, pal? That's got nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's freezing in Joe's room. It's hot as hell in this room. I mean,
it's so true.
Climate change is real, brah.
It really is. I don't know why.
Or our AC sucks.
I don't know how they can't figure that out. But so you mean the climate being different in what way, sir?
I don't think. I think when we first started radio, a lot of people dealt with sometimes abusive old dogs and old heads.
I wish you would not look at me when you're speaking like this.
No, I'm not. But you know what I mean. But I don't think it's like that anymore. I think people are a little bit more willing to work with new talent and be cool to everybody and not be as a-hole-ish as they used to be.
Yes.
But you're right, though. It is an uphill battle. It's not like as if you could just walk in and get a job in like a big market like Seattle. Like it's unheard of. And if it does happen, you're a unicorn. And that, I mean, it's not impossible, but you're a unicorn if that happens.
Yeah. It really is of like everything Steve said. And
go to a small town and work your way up the ladder.
So here's the thing. Whatever you're passionate about, whatever you love to do, think about how much time you put into it that you really don't get paid for, and you kind of even are grueling. It's a grueling situation in other people's eyes. And that's what you have to do in any performing arts career. You've got to take a beating. But I think a lot of people would say even in any career, if you want to be great at anything, you've got to take a beating. I mean, Danny, look what you have to do to your hands to learn how to play guitar. Yeah. And that's something I would not be willing to do is just mess up I'd be done after first trying to learn a guitar and getting all those blisters.
It's not the only thing that your hands have led to beating. I mean, it's crazy.
Don't forget you need that kind of quality humor, too. If you can't bring that.
Can you say stupid stuff without overthinking it?
Yeah.
You've got a job in radio.
And also, if you can say stupid stuff and overthink it, that's how I got my job.
I don't want to tell someone not to pursue their dreams. The beauty is nowadays, you can at least start with, if you want to be entertaining, if you want to do some kind of audio entertainment, you can do a podcast and start with that.
Thanks for that.
What?
And we need more of those out there.
Well, you don't have to listen to them all.
It does. Well, tell them who have those podcasts that go, hey, can you give this podcast a listen? It's really me and my buddy, and we think it's great.
Say, okay, I will. And then you get back to them and say, I really enjoyed it. That thing you did was pretty cool.
Okay, well, lying is also really good in this industry.
Yes.
He's really telling you that. He's not wrong about that.
All I'm saying is, if you have a passion to be in front of a microphone, there are ways to do it without having to sacrifice your income and your livelihood. And then at least you can say, hey, I caught the bug. I really want to do it.
It's a hobby. You're talking a hobby at that point.
Sure, but sometimes hobbies turn into careers. And if they don't, at least you still enjoyed yourself while doing it. And you didn't mortgage your entire life for it.
Yeah, I have no problem with somebody doing a hobby.
What if they do a podcast, right? And this guy, I don't know what it is, but it attracts some kind of attention. And then it blows up into being something huge.
Yeah.
then next thing you know, you're on, either you just say, screw radio, I'm making enough money on the podcast, or you're like, oh, now I have something that's, I'm of value to some radio company to bring me on the air.
Here's another thing. People might tell you have a voice for radio. Do they ever tell you you're the life of the party? Do they ever really just get riveted by your conversations? Because it's not just the voice for radio, unless you just, like what the men's room do and what we do is very atypical. Normally, you're just going, here's Black Sabbath, here's Metallica. That's all you do, which a voice for radio can do. Mm-hmm. But to do what we do, you kind of have to be somewhat of a conversationalist in order to carry a show beyond just, here's Metallica.
And a
here's
borderline mental case. I mean, one of those.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I wish I could disagree, but you're right about that. You do also have to have serious mental health issues
Jason,
to do this job.
I'm not here to tell you not to pursue it.
I am. I would say you probably will not make it, but do it as a hobby, like Steve said, no problem. But if you think that you're going to make yourself this, and again, that's why I ask how old you are. If you're in your teens or 20s, I'm like, okay, you have what it takes to put up with the BS. If you're 35 plus, you're done. You're not going to start you're just not going to be able to survive this industry as a career. But as a, and look, we know this. How many times have we had interns who were a little older that came in and they were like, oh no, I can do it. And what got to them? The grueling nature of being a peon and an entry level person.
Just getting up early.
And you get nothing, and you will get paid nothing, which all of us got paid nothing when we started in this industry. We got paid very little.
Well, and I even think about it just in terms of just being a go-to person for like, hey, can you go do this? Hey, can you go do that? And it's like, if you're 35 plus, you have wife, kids, it's like you want to spend the time with them as opposed to when you're early 20s.
Man, you guys are just a bunch of agists. I'm saying 30, 40, 50, do it.
You don't care. You don't even listen to their podcast. You're going to be not involved in this person's life.
No, I don't have to be involved, but I'm also not going to be the crusher of his dreams.
You're a realist. Crush what dreams? He's just go, hey, I like that. That looks fun. I mean, how many people have said that to us? Yeah, it looks fun, but we work our asses off.
Yeah, then it's up to them to put in the work.
They're not going to put in the work.
But you don't know.
Oh, I know. I'm betting you money right now.
I mean, I'm not going to bet you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, exactly. But the statistics are ridiculous.
But with anything, there's always somebody out there that says, you know what, screw it. He could be that somebody.
I want to be an astronaut. All right, go for it, fatty.
Wow.
Well, I didn't know that.
Well, that's what you'd say to me. I mean, look, that's what I would say to myself.
Oh, yeah, good cover up, you fat shamer.
I'm fat shaming myself. I just said I want to be an astronaut.
I never heard you once say you want to be an astronaut.
Oh, dude, that was one of my things.
Yeah.
Major Matt Mason was my favorite toy. I love sci-fi. I always wanted to be an astronaut until I realized
how heads in space.
It was not good.
But if you put in the work, I believe you could.
I got to tell you something. Nobody said that to me. Nobody looked at me and said, if you put in the work. They were like, you are a physical F up. You would never be able to do anything. And I thank my father and my brother for basically setting me straight on that. I also wanted to be a professional baseball player. And again, when you are the last picked on every team that you're on with the slowest speed to first base, it's just not going to happen.
Hey, someone said, I'm also thinking about doing radio. Many people told me I have a face for radio. Ha-ha.
Oh, that's a funny one. All right, I'll take that back. That you definitely need.
Okay. This text says, how long do you think until AI replaces you guys? I'd give it a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our business, look. We're a unicorn. I mean, our station and the way this company lets us do what we do around here is a unicorn as far as I'm concerned when it comes to our business. So I would say here, probably not going to happen, but I can't vouch for any of the lot of other radio stations out there in the world.
So you know what I think we should do? We should the girl we were talking about earlier who's doing her
Karen.
AI version of herself.
Oh, Karen. Caryn, by the way.
Yeah, we should do an AI version of the BJ and Migs show and be the first ones to do it. And then we can sleep in every day and this show does AI.
I mean, if I still get paid, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get paid because people are going to be like, Steve, we want Steve's stupid stuff.
I feel like we have illustrated Steve's level of involvement in any part of this industry. It's just like, if I get paid, I will do whatever. I don't care.
Yeah. I think I went to the great philosopher that once said, F you pay me. I'm that guy.
That's it. That's what it is.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah. And look, I don't crush anybody's dreams, but
Except
I am a
realist.
I am a realist. I will tell anybody, I will tell anybody, hey, dude, you got to do this. You see me at conventions. People come up and I go, you're doing the wrong job. You should be over here, there, and everywhere.
But who's to say?
It would be literally me at that point. Who's to say it?
I grant it's a little.
I have a great success
It's a
rate.
lot different. But I took up wrestling in my 40s. And if I told someone one day I'm going to be on All Elite Wrestling, they would be like, there's no chance. You're too old.
Well, all right. Look, no doubt about it. Yeah, that's insane. But it is insane. You're right. But at the same time, you've always approached this as a hobby.
Yes,
which is why I would never dissuade you.
Right.
And
I'm not like I'm going to quit my job and sacrifice my entire leave my wife.
Well, let
and
me
hit
just
the
say
road,
one
bro.
thing. Let me just say one thing, because you don't often pat yourself on the back. If not for how great you are in this career, those opportunities don't happen. You'd just be a dude wrestling. But because of how great you are in this career, I think that and the fact that you busted your ass to at least be somebody they wouldn't be embarrassed to put in the ring, this is what has helped you.
Yes and no.
All right,
Because
fair enough. Well, I tried. I tried to give you credit.
I thought the radio gig would help. It didn't. Honestly, truly, if it did, I would have got to wrestle in Seattle. Nobody even knew I was on the radio until after I wrestled in Portland.
That's what I'm saying, because the kind of guy you are, you do not bang your own drum as much as I think that other people would. If you would have let them, like other people in your position would have hounded them to let them know you were this guy.
Because I know it started as a joke on the radio with the interview with Tony Khan, but it was very apparent that he did not even know what was going on with the dark stuff and with all the extra talent, because nobody knew until I was getting ready to leave in Portland, and one of the ladies goes, "You never told us you were on the radio."
Exactly.
And I looked at her, I'm like, at what point am I supposed to say that?
See, there are people that would have, though.
And then she's like, you know what? We respect that you didn't.
Yeah.
But so that's why I say, like, I mean, locally, definitely opportunities have happened because what I do for a living, and it helps, like, hey, get the word out about wrestling. But like that in that situation, that was dumb luck and hard work, obviously. But that's why when someone says that, that's why I say, like, focus it on it as being like a hobby. That way, like, but that doesn't mean don't have in the back of your mind that, hey, if I really excel at this as a hobby, maybe it could become something. And if it doesn't, oh well, whatever. But if it does, holy crap, what a cool life experience that you became a radio personality all because you started a podcast.
Well, that's the key, Steve. You've always known this was a hobby. Look, if it transformed in somehow, some way, the WWE just said, dude, sorry, you're the man.
Brother.
Well, at that point,
I have to say brother, otherwise I'm not answering the call.
Then I'd expect you to quit. But that just goes without saying. If your hobby becomes so amazing that you can transform it into your career, no one's going to have to pull you aside and go, hey, dude, you should do this for a career. Like, you'll know it.
Right.
It's not going to, that's why when people go, you have a voice for radio, great. But right now you have a voice for a hobby, and maybe it will transform it to something tremendous where that can be your 9-to-5er, and I have no problem. But look at it as a hobby first.
I always love that when someone said that, because all they're saying is you have a deep voice.
That's it.
Yeah. That's really at the end of the day. When anyone says that, they're like, you have a voice for radio. It's like, you have a deep voice.
I'm more impressed by somebody that can carry on conversations, and no matter what you're talking about, they
you
never
have a personality for radio.
Yeah, that's the one. See, that's what I like.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
It's Superstart Battery Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get up to a $25 gift card after rebate with the purchase of select Superstart batteries. Our professional parts people will test your old battery for free and recommend the right battery for your vehicle. For power, performance, and reliability, choose Superstart batteries only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. It's listeners on the loose. 206-803-ROCK. That's the number to call. That's the number to text.
So today I came across the AFI's top movie quotes of all time. I was wondering what you guys thought of it. I agree with the top two.
Yeah, I have seen this.
Okay.
And I don't like it.
Well, okay, why?
I think it's way too old.
I was wondering that. Like, I feel like the most memorable movie quotes are from movies that were forever ago. Like, I wonder if, like, Anchorman is on this list.
And Anchorman should be on this list.
Right.
Yeah, this is the problem with this. So here's number one.
Okay.
And I would argue that, boy, if you're under the age of 35, you have no idea what this is from. And it might even be older than this. But we'll see.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember what movie that's from, but I remember that line.
Yeah, like I've heard it a million times, but same thing. No idea.
Gone with the Wind, man.
Yeah.
Have you seen Gone with the Wind?
Many times.
What's wrong?
I don't know. I took a bunch of
wow. I have no desire. Well,
is it a musical?
No.
I thought it was. The hills are alive.
No, that's the Sound of Music.
Oh,
yeah. Nice try.
Never mind.
I'd make fun of you, but I get those confused too.
Yeah, totally different movies. Because The Sound of Music was during, it was during World War II. I think Gone with the Wind is set way like in the, I don't know, even a lot earlier than that.
I'm feeling pretty confident that I will never see Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, there's no reason to.
Right.
I mean, unless you're a movie buff. Here's the thing. The line, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn, back in 1939, which was a tremendous year for movies. I mean, that was the year that Wizard of Oz came out. And 1939 is considered one of the best years ever for movies. The word damn was very controversial. It was a swear word, a big-time swear word. So I get that that's why it was such a powerful line back then. But I mean, now it doesn't mean a thing to me.
But I think you hit it on the head with the entire thing of it's from the golden age of cinema. Whereas, now we're not considered in that anymore. So you can argue, and I know like people argue it all the time, but they're just saying that cinema will never be as good as it was back then.
Oh, I argue that 100%.
Because to me, this is the greatest movie quote of all time, and it is truly the golden age of cinema.
I love scotch. I love scotch. Scotchy, scotch, scotch. Here it goes down into my belly.
Right?
Yeah.
Anchorman.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of great quotes in Anchorman. I agree. This is though it's not the number 2 of all time. Here is the number 2 of all time.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
Okay, I know that one.
Yeah, and that was that's a very quotable line. Oh, the day of my daughter's wedding, and I'll make him an offer that can't refuse.
I'm wondering if these are the top movie quotes of all time because they have kind of evolved after all these years. They're still in our vocabulary.
Yeah, I would think it has a little bit to do with that because there are times where my wife will be saying something that I'm like really not vibing or whatever, and I almost will be like, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. And I don't even know where I'm coming from, but I'm just joking. I'm just joking with her.
It's just kind of evolved from like this movie that nobody probably has seen ever except Danny to, this is just something you say, or when someone says, frankly, my dear, you are going to finish that sentence.
There are probably several people who listen to our show that do love that movie, just like yelling at the radio, like, a lot of people have seen that movie, Vicky.
Yeah, they're all dead.
Yeah.
Fair. They're all at the funeral home right now
Yes.
yelling at me. Yeah.
Here's the number 3 movie quote of all time, and I would argue that, look, those first 2 movies, Gone with the Wind, massive classic, same thing with The Godfather. This movie definitely is a good movie, but I don't think a lot of people know about this movie at all.
I could have been a contender.
Is that Raging Bull?
No. Raging Bull's that was a lot later than this.
Is this a boxing movie?
I don't even know. I have no idea because I never saw it. It's Marlon Brando. I know he was in this movie called On the Waterfront, but it was released before I was born, like pretty much as well as Gone with the Wind.
It's an ex-prize fighter turned New Jersey longshoreman struggles to stand up to his corrupt union bosses, including his older brother, as he starts to connect with the grieving sister of one of the syndicate's victims.
It's a great movie.
1954.
Even though I haven't seen it,
I was about to say,
it's well received. It's well received.
You can't then say it's a great movie.
No, what I mean is that it's regarded as a great movie.
All this time, I thought that line was from Raging Bull.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because it's a movie about a boxer, and I was like, okay, well, it has to be from Raging Bull.
But who knows that movie? Nobody.
I didn't even know the name of it,
Yeah.
and I still don't.
That's the number 3 of all time. That's why I question this list. Like, since 1954, has there not been other quotable movies that we can say these are lines that stand the test of time? I'm sorry, I'm
99% on the tomato meter, 95% from the audience.
And this isn't about how good the movie is. We're talking about the greatest movie quotes of all time.
But that is a great movie quote. I can't argue that. Like I've people use it and quote it all the time to the point where it's so iconic that it doesn't even matter what the movie is.
All right, how about this one?
How about this?
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah, and maybe that's the problem. Is that maybe some of these I just don't know what makes it. If it's iconic and goes in people's lexicon, doesn't that count? I think it should count. And you're right. I could have been a contender. Goes in there, make him an offer. Doesn't refuse.
So far, I mean, as much as like these are all great movie lines, I don't disagree.
But I also think, I mean, even though it's the greatest movie lines, not the greatest movie, I think that if it's a critically acclaimed movie that was done really well, I think that adds to it being the greatest of all time. Even just the quote.
I can't believe, you guys are younger than me, and you guys are actually for this, so I'm definitely in the minority.
What about I'll be back?
See, I think that should be here. I don't know if it is or not because I'm going just through the list, but that is, to me, is a great line. A lot of Arnold's lines could be...
Your clothes, give them to me.
I think, I mean, I think they should count because, again, we're talking movie lines, not great movies. Here's the number 4 greatest movie quote of all time.
Toto?
in Kansas anymore.
Can you play Pink Floyd while you play that, please? Because otherwise I don't want to hear it.
Now, outside of The Godfather, because I know a lot of people still watch that movie, I feel like The Wizard of Oz has been watched a lot more than Gone with the Wind. Both came out in the same year, 1939. I stand by that. I stand by that. That's a great line because, people still, at least in my generation, we all watched The Wizard of Oz many years after it came out.
The text was a good one. It falls in line with what you like. May the force be with you.
Yeah.
That should be in there.
With you.
That should be in there.
Every time someone said that.
Yeah.
Tell me you grew up Catholic without telling me you grew up Catholic.
Pretty much, right? Yeah.
All right. Here's one that it is a great movie line.
He's looking at you, kid.
Yep.
Do you know what that's from, though?
Is that from like The Great Gatsby or something?
No, it's not. No. Do you even know who said it?
Some Ernest Borgnine?
No.
I mean, you're kind of close.
Yeah, he's not close at all.
J.C. Keller.
No, it's Humphrey Bogart.
That guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is I've heard all the impressions done of these people. They don't sound like the impressions.
Yeah, they're doing a terrible impression of themselves.
They really are. It's like Harris looking at you, kid. I mean, he had such a bigger lisp in all the impressions. And obviously the Godfather's blah, 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 as opposed to what he really sounded.
What about Say Hello to My Little Friend? That's being texted in a lot.
I think that counts. That's a big one.
Someone texted this.
Yeah, I mean, for Star Trek fans, yes.
It's just a name, though. It's not really a line.
It's a line. I mean, he's yelling his. I mean, I feel like that's part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't. You're right. I really can't argue it. But I feel like a lot of people will be like, especially if you're talking about young millennials and Zoomers, do they even know what the hell we're talking about?
That would be interesting to put together a new list that is just catered towards like the millennials and younger. Like, what are the iconic lines?
And there you can tell because of all the. There's been so many quotable line movies, especially anything
like
that
Catch Me Outside or something like that.
Oh, Catch Me Outside, yeah. Will Ferrell movies, right? So many quotable things. Yeah.
Did we become? I think I hear. Did we just become best friends all the time?
Yeah.
That's from at that same time though. That's from a meme. Like I feel like that's why it's so popular is because it's been memeified.
I feel like
Step Brothers, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like Austin Powers movies definitely have some quotable lines in it. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Do I make you horny, baby?
Exactly. We all know that.
Do I make you randy? Yeah, baby.
How is that? I mean, look, that is a quotable, a very quotable line from those movies.
It doesn't matter what the list is.
I do.
You will bitch about the list.
I do.
It could be just like a list of like the most handsome parts of BJ Shea's body.
And that list, that's a short list.
Fine. Top. We haven't got to one yet, but
Wow. Okay.
The top arguments BJ's ever made, and he would argue about the
Those.
arguments.
Like it doesn't matter. Whatever list we put
that's
out there.
That's what lists are when you think about it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But you get like angry.
I surely do. I really do. It's like, who made these people in charge to make a list?
Text gotta go. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
It's a great line.
Yep.
And again,
show me the money.
Again, and these movies are all a lot more current than what these movies are. These are more current movies. So that's why I say you really have to take that into account where society is. All those movies are a lot more recent.
Someone's got a good one. I think we've all used this at some point when you see all your friends or you're trying to catch, hey, you guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's good stuff, man.
That reminded me of when I call my little brother. I'm like, you're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. Sandlot.
Yep.
That's good stuff, man. All right, well, we'll argue this forever. That's what we do.
You'll argue this forever.
Okay, fine. You're right. You don't ever give anything. It's only Pearl Jam's 10 that you'll argue forever.
There's some very quotable lines in that.
But you have to listen to it its entirety or you don't get them all.
Absolutely.
Listeners on the loose, you pick the topic. You guide the show. 206-803-ROCK. That's the number to call. That's the number to text. Let's go to Ian on I-5. Ian, you are on the Rock.
You talking to me?
Am I talking to you? Another great line. Another great line.
All right, so the reason I called is I wanted to know if Migs had seen that fire engine in South Hill. It's engine number 69.
No.
How do you not see that? How do you? It's right in your neighborhood.
What part of Puyallup? There's a few fire engine places, though.
You mean fire
I saw it at the. I saw it at the Starbucks at it's like 152nd and Meridian. And I actually sent you a picture of it on iTunes on Instagram.
Oh, nice. I'll have to look for that.
Check that out.
That's awesome. I need a shirt.
Oh, thanks, Ian. Appreciate that.
I'll have to swing by that fire engine place.
Check it out.
If anybody sees it at the fire engine place, yes, check it out.
The fire engine place.
The fire engine place has been called.
You knew exactly what I was talking about.
Yes, unfortunately, I know too many things that you're talking about, and I'm sad for that.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. How much does bankruptcy cost?
Well, bankruptcy costs, of course, vary depending on what type of case you're filing. There's a certain amount of court costs and other out-of-pocket costs that you're going to have in any case. The filing fees in a bankruptcy case are about $300, whether you file Chapter 7 or Chapter 13. One of the things to watch out for when you're shopping for bankruptcy attorneys or looking at the different cost options is that a lot of times, especially the really cheap places, don't tell you up front about all the court costs and whatnot that you're going to have to pay in addition to the attorney fees. So make sure that you get the full picture when you're comparing prices of bankruptcy lawyers on what the attorney fees are, how much your court costs are going to be, so that you can really make a true comparison.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com.
Needless to say, you don't play favorites, but every family has a natural unspoken hierarchy, and always has. At least when it comes to claiming your place in the car. You know how it goes. The one with the longest legs, you're up front. Congratulations. The shortest kid, you're in the way back. And the nicest sibling with the best attitude, right smack dab in the middle. Sorry, buddy. Is it usually the mild-mannered middle child? You bet. They're such a good sport. Is it fair, comfortable, and enjoyable for all? Absolutely not. Until now. Finally, the first ever Lexus TX is a 3-row SUV where everybody wins. With intuitive tech, cup holders for all, loads of elbow room, cargo room, and leg room. For everyone, no matter where they sit. This is a new era of 3-row luxury. The Lexus TX. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.